All right, we're ready. Hello, welcome to the Sketchy People podcast. We have 2 guest episodes in a row today, or has been 3. It's been 3, hasn't it? I'm LemonTart, and this is Tom Oliver. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Tom Oliver, world-renowned member of the Procrastinators podcast, the podcast you've never heard of. I'm a man who loved the D so much I had to get another one, so I do 3D modeling, my friends. None of this drawing.
Wait. You had 2 of them before?
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh, yeah,
I have
double
many
Ds.
secrets I will reveal today.
I'll call you sometime.
3 whole Ds now. 3 of them. And it's going pretty good. You can find me on Instagram at Tommy Oliver Says, on Twitter at Tommy Oliver Says, on YouTube with I Am Games, the greatest game show that I update once in a year.
Hell yeah.
Please make more.
There you go. Twitter's my home base. It's so easy. I just have to write words and it counts as content. It's great.
Agreed.
If you say words, it also counts as content, which is why you're on this podcast right now.
Exactly. Podcasts are the best content because it's what you just do to communicate normally with no extra effort.
At all.
Pretty
Zero
much.
extra effort.
Thanks, Graf.
Sorry to
Shout out
out
to
you
your
like
editor.
that, but, that's just how I roll. Who else is here? I'm done. That was it. That was my spiel.
I'm here. I'm Seika. Commission me, guys. Thank you. Next.
Getting straight to the point. I respect that.
Yeah, I'm here. It's Noodle. Is Noodle gone from the podcast? Yes.
No.
Yes, he is. Don't worry.
No, he's not.
Don't worry about it. You're getting answers right now. Check me out on Twitter, dudes. You know where I'm at.
Happy you're back.
Yeah.
I'm NeverPaint. Hello. You know the Twitter. Hello. I do art.
Asha.
I know something about 3Ds.
Oh, there's a story I want to hear later.
Or now.
We gotta lead into it first. Gotta bury the
3Ds
lead to keep people around.
Lead into it, more like lean into it. Am I right?
Well,
It's
all right.
You can find me at TardyArt on Twitter, at LemonTardy on Instagram. Please follow my stuff. I'm almost at 100. I will feel complete if I get there, and then crave for more with my insatiable lust for clout and growth.
Yeah. The hunger never goes away.
100. I recently passed 420 on Twitter.
Hey, Lamau.
Yeah. What'd you do to celebrate?
Not smoke weed.
Oh, disgusting.
Sad
Damn.
day.
I know, right?
This is
If only 420 Shroom Dude 69 were here.
This is the Straight Edge podcast where the lamest people on earth hang out with their moms and not smoke
Welcome
weed.
to the Momcast, all about our moms,
What do you
what they
mean?
did.
I'm right here, dude.
Yeah, we're hanging out with Seika, our mom. Yeah.
Yeah, but today's episode is not about us. It's about Tommy Oliver. Tommy, I know you just talked about it a little bit, but can you go into more depth about who you are and what do you do?
Well, so I dabble in all sorts of things because I'm perpetually indecisive and never know exactly what I want to do. That idea is always changing. It's always evolving. So I've thrown my hat into many of the arena. I was a YouTuber for a while. That didn't really work out. Then I did like illustrations and comics and motion comics and gaming streams.
I'm really curious about motion comics,
video
but we can get
games and 3D modeling and animation is kind of where I'm at right now. Plus doing some 2D game stuff. Yeah.
You're basically only missing music, right?
That's next on the chopping block, my friend.
Nice.
I got the
Really?
Udemy, I got the Udemy course. I'm gonna dig
my
into
God.
it again. I've tried before. It did not work out very well, but new decade, new me, right?
Yeah, just a true renaissance man trying out everything in this renaissance of 2020.
Judy Hopps inspired me. What can I say? That song, try everything. From that
feel
moment
like-
on, I was like, not only am I now a furry, now I have to try everything, I guess.
Right, is that
I'm
gamers?
playing that with not always.
I I feel like after 5 more years of faffing about, you'll be able to make the biggest, most powerful transmedia franchise in the world.
Yeah, that's the goal. That would be the goal. My long-term goal is to make RWBY all by myself, but better and with a plot. That's the plan.
I mean, people.
That's actually really cool. I love that idea. I totally watch a RWBY-like show from you.
I totally watch RWBY Tuesdays.
Yes, my favorite dinery that I've been to literally once, because I've only ever seen one in real life once in Canada, I think, not even in America.
I think you always need a sapphire for a ruby.
Wah, wah. We ain't talking about Gen 3 Pokemon right now, alright, son? Don't even get me started on those trumpets. Contrarian opinion, Gen 3, not that good. Trumpets, literally the worst sound font in the history of Nintendo.
No, that's the best
Absolute
part of
trash.
Gen 3.
No.
I was talking about Steven Universe.
Steven Universe, worst sound font of any TV show. Unforgivable. They can't even sing. They can't. I get that's the point. They're supposed to sound like kind of like homey because it's like a down. No, that's not even a big deal.
It's relating to stuff is dumb.
Yeah, I'm just being contrarian. That's my YouTuber blood that still hasn't been completely bled out from leeches yet. That makes me have to be contrarian.
Gen 3 is great. It has mudkips. What do you mean?
Okay, Mudkip, legit awesome. The trumpets that play when Mudkip fights, legit not awesome. I don't like
Okay, so Tom Oliver is no longer a guest of the Sketchy People podcast. We can move on with whatever else we have to talk about.
That's the price I have to pay to plant my flag on this issue. I'm doing it.
Tom Oliver, enemy of ska.
No, it's not even that. Ska's fucking dope, but it's just the fake Game Boy Advance trumpets.
I love those. Those are my favorites.
It sounds like up-pitched farting. It's the worst. I hate it.
No.
I mean, I think it might be biased because that was my childhood, but like, they're not that bad. Come on, dude.
I love them. I could sing the Gen 3 battle theme, which I can't say about most battle themes in
It's
Pokemon.
just change them to like regular trumpets, and I will be fine with it. It's just I don't know. There's like something about that waveform when it hits my eardrums makes me like cringe. It's just like.
But didn't they
it's like a
You
weird
can
like
listen-
wibbly wobbliness
Wait, Tom,
when the
Just
notes
go listen to the
sustain.
remakes, which are orchestral
Wait,
music.
Tom, can we get
The
can we get a clean clip of you making that noise again, please?
I hate it so much. Look, somebody out there is gonna vibe with me.
Yeah, I know,
that, like,
I know what you're talking about.
It's the worst. I
love it.
This is not an exaggeration. Even as like a wee lad when that came out, I was like, ah! And then I just couldn't play it anymore. Then I went back to Golden Sun's Warm Embrace. I was like, yeah, so much better.
That is some really good sound font. Have you heard the Gen 4 sound font? Because it's like really crunchy pixelated piano, and I love it a lot.
Yeah, Gen 4 was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I randomly get the Chewy Life City theme song in my brain out of nowhere every once in a while. And I don't know why that specific theme.
Because it's good. Man,
It's
the
great.
Gen 2 gym theme got me so hype as a little kid. I was not ready for like a 8-bit rock rendition of the fucking gym theme in that game, but I was like, oh, I'm ready to fucking go. I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
do
a
this.
really good gym theme. I like the Gen 5 gym theme a whole bunch, especially when you get to their last Pokemon and it like cuts in like doo-doo-doo-dum, and then it switches to an even more hype version of the song. It's really awesome.
I played the new Pokemon game, right? I know.
Oh yeah, I love the gym theme in that
We're
one.
talking about Pokemon again. I think wasn't like 1 or 2 podcasts ago. You guys talked with Mage about Pokemon for a while.
It was one episode ago.
It's
Yeah,
every
so
time,
I'm sorry
every
for bringing
single
it
time.
back up. I
Every
shouldn't have.
episode, guys.
Every
This
episode
is my
Pokemon.
fault.
Pokemon is the best.
But like, I was so mad playing the new Pokemon game that because I don't play all the games very often. I haven't played Sun and Moon. I only played a little bit of X and Y. I didn't play X and Y until after I beat the new one. And I was like, why did they get rid of the fucking hype thing from Black and White? When you get to critical HP, it just turns the like
yeah.
into a theme. It was so fucking lit. Why would you get rid of
I
that?
really like that.
But also
I really
the
like
gym
that.
battles, the gym battle theme, it's pretty fucking hype.
Dude, the gym
can't
battle
get
theme
it
in the
is,
new
it
one
is.
is a banger. It's a straight banger.
Yes.
It's so fucking good. But like, I want my critical HP theme. I mean, I'm such
I
a
agree,
fucking
I
god
agree.
at a baby's game that it never happens to me except for like twice. But like when it does, it's like a slap in the face that slaps. It's just like, yeah, okay, I suck, but like at least I'm feeling kind of okay about it right now.
Honestly, when I think back to Gen 5, those moments are like the emotional heights of that game for me. When I think Black and White, I remember just fighting the normal type gym lady Swatch Hog and just being like and critical HP. It was so fun.
Dude, it was great.
Just
Great
beat the
time.
game with a fear ratata, just to be constantly in critical HP.
Constantly switching from critical HP to just the normal battle theme. Oh my god! When it goes into critical HP, it's the theme. It's like it's Ratata's theme. It's when he's gonna fuck you up. He's like, time to kick
Someone
your ass.
has to do a ROM hack of Black and White to change the critical HP theme to the Seinfeld theme. So every time you get fucking.
Your Pokemon.
Oh man, I really fucked up.
Dun.
God.
Imagine a ROM hack where the critical HP theme is the normal battle theme, and only when you get to critical HP you can be blessed with the normal sounds of the normal video game.
That's like more hardcore than Nuzlocke. If you just want to have like oral pain, just like.
That sounds PTS inducing.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Got into a Pokemon pretty fast today.
Look,
Speaking
we can
of
pivot away just
any
as
other
quickly.
topics.
Yeah, let's move on, please. The people will ride.
Tom, why are you sometimes called Tommy Oliver and sometimes Tom? I'm confused. When did that change?
Okay, so the reason my username online is even Tommy Oliver is because before, like, look, I don't know, all you kids these days with your book face and your tweeters using your like real names and stuff online. No, that's not how shit flew back in the early 2000s. You all had a handle, an online handle, right? So I would just use a cringy high school online handle. Exactly. So I had that, and then in like the first year of college, I had a crappy comic, and I brought it to a real life convention, the Museum of Comic and Cartoon Art in New York, the MoCA Art Festival. And so I was like, I had a table and I was passing out comics and stuff. I was just there to trade. I wasn't there to sell. I was just there to like meet, because I was listening to a podcast called Indie Spinner Rack back in the day, which was super sick. It's long since dead, but the archive's still up. It's just two fucking cool dudes talking to indie comics, like recommending all this crazy stuff. So I went to this convention because I always went to it every year. It's like, I'm going to meet Charlito and Mr. Phil, and we're going to hang out. I'll show them my comic, and then I'll meet all these cool people they talked on the podcast. And I did, and it was cool. But like, they're all like, who are you? And I felt really cringy and embarrassing to say like my online edgelord handle when introducing myself, even though it was on my comic book. But I didn't want to give out my real name because you're not allowed to do that. So I was like, Tom Oliver or Tommy Oliver, because that's like the Power Ranger. That's the Green Ranger.
It's not your real name?
No.
Oh my god.
My real first
my world
real
is
first
shattering
name,
right now.
my real first name is Tom.
Okay.
But my last name is not Oliver. That was the compromise, right? Because I could introduce myself as Tommy or Tom and be like, that's not weird. That's what I say to everybody.
Yeah.
But I had it in my back pocket that it was a different last name, and it was also an internet reference. So it all kind of worked. It was like a serendipitous on-the-fly moment because someone asked me at the table, and I couldn't bring myself to say my online handle, which I will not say because I don't know if I've wiped all existence of that handle off the internet. So I'm going to play it safe. But yeah, that's where it came from.
That's a smart way to do it.
And the reason it's Tom a lot now is simply because Tommy Oliver outranks me in all SEO searches. So I've been thinking about possibly just kind of slowly transitioning away so I can try and get more clout. But there's also, I guess, like, it's either like some actor or some sports guy, I don't remember, named Tom Oliver. And as soon as I beat him on like Wikipedia research results, that's when I know I've actually made it and I can rest.
I mean, you can
Until
also
then,
make the
the
Wikipedia
struggle
page
continues.
yourself. And just become an active member of the Wikipedia community and become influential.
That's a long game I'm not even interested in playing.
I wish I had something like that to define whether or not I would have a legacy. Beating someone in Wikipedia searches. That's pretty good.
mean, just take your actual real name and just do it. You know, as soon as you're number one on Google, that means you're the most powerful person with that name.
You're right.
But dude, like, I could never do that. And there's too many people with my name in my country. It's literally
Oh, yeah.
impossible
You just
to
have a
find even
higher
my real
mountain.
name
You just
on
have
the
a higher
internet.
mountain to climb. That's all. Some of
I-
us,
Yeah.
some of us have small little hills. Some of us have fucking Everest that we have to climb. We all have our struggles.
I'm really
But
frustrated
dude,
because not
you
that...
don't understand. When I was tattoo artist, I had to keep using Seika, which is like the SG name I picked as a 12-year-old. But like when I was a tattoo artist, I couldn't use my real name because there are like 3 other girls with my exact name
Look,
who
your
are
name's
tattoo
not
artists
John
in my
Smith.
city.
So you're okay. All right, just think about that guy. That guy has to deal with a Disney Prince guy. All right, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
hard hurdle to clear.
Who's the most
So-
powerful John Smith around? I need to meet that guy. Oh man.
Who knows? Probably some business tycoon playing it, on the stock market or something, keeping his nose down, but his bank account full.
Some American
smart
psycho
person.
type.
His nose down with his bank account full.
God, I wish
I
that were
feel
me.
really bad about my SEO optimization because my normal name is more unique than the online handle I picked for myself. And anytime you look up my name, you just run into a wall of LemonTart recipes, and there's no way to actually.
Lemon, you're still
well.
early in the game. You can still pivot to your real name. It's fine.
Yeah, you can always.
I'm thinking
Or you
about
can
it.
just
I'm
you can just
really
hack
thinking
the
about it.
system. Just like start
fucking do
making
it.
content called LemonTart recipe, and then people click on it, and it's not anything to do with that.
Or just, how about we just tag every SPP episode with lemon tart recipe, and that will also work.
That'll be a new segment.
Interesting.
You'll intro it like, all right, welcome to Sketchy People Podcast. First segment, this is today's LemonTart recipe. Now that we've satisfied the SEO, time to go with the actual show.
It has lemons. It has.
Oh my!
Like,
Oh my
why
God,
is the
that's such a
65
great
plus
line.
demographic up 800%? This is ridiculous.
That's such a great line. Now that we certified the SEO, it's time to start the show. That could be the intro
does
for the
rhyme.
podcast.
That's very good.
Ooh. Oh.
This episode brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, I wish. Oh man, I would jump on that so quickly. I don't care if it's cringy.
Same.
Uh.
Same.
See, for me, if I was ever in a position to do Raid Shadow Legends, I would do one that just lambastes the game, collect my $7,000, and be like, I know we're never working together again, but man, that jab was worth it, and just walk away.
That'd be the Chad move, the power move right there.
That's what I would do.
I want to become one of these like animator guys that get to work for League of Legends, making these ads that you see around. Have you seen
Dude,
those?
LOL has some fucking aesthetic. They got some Kino shit going on over there. And it's much like Overwatch, it drives me crazy that it's wasted on such a garbage game. That's right, I said it. I'm throwing all the bombs today.
No, I agree.
League, not fun. MOBAs, not fun. Multiplayer games, not fun. There. Every game ever made now. I hate them all.
Pokemon.
No.
Pokemon, not fun.
Thank you. I'm the only not.
How about
Pokemon
Azumi?
here.
I
How
like-
about Asumi? I've heard that one's pretty bad.
Which one?
Asumi and the vertical
Oh,
slice.
dude, the fucking worst game ever made. Are you kidding me? Oh, I'm gonna take Strider and make it a furry. I'm so creative.
Hold on.
Yeah, what a
do-
hack. What a fucking
It
hack.
really is kind of just that.
I actually played Azumi, and there was like a glitch, and maybe you've patched it out at this point. I don't know. I'm like a couple years late, but I was in the first spot and I couldn't beat it because I'm a dumb baby and I just didn't have the patience to learn how to move at all. But when you pause, apparently you can get hit still. Like enemies still move. Did you fix that?
Yeah, it's because like for the way the engine I'm using set up, you have to like pause multiple values in order, because like just pausing the game doesn't work, because like if you change the time value to 0, which is pausing the game, you can't unpause it because nothing's moving, so you can't do the controls or anything, which is very strange. So you have to like pause each individual element
So you just when
and
you
then
hit pause,
resume them all.
oh, okay.
It's strange.
So you just pause the.
It is
PC.
patched. There's like a way newer version sitting on my hard drive that I'll post eventually. I was gonna like finish a whole level, but it's taking forever, so I'm just not gonna bother. I'll just update it at some point and be like, look, there's like branching combos and better hit stop and everything's great, and nobody knows about it because I haven't shown anyone.
I'm sick.
Oh no.
Can you one day please implement a way how to change the controls?
I know, dude. It's so fucking hard to do in Construct. Like, okay, I have a story about this. Before I launched the first version, I was like, oh, I'm going to figure out how to do customizable controls. How hard can it be? So I went into the forums. I went into the forums because I'd used Godot a little bit before this, like a real game engine with real programming that I was too dumb to understand. And in that, you can just go into the project settings and you can just assign all controls, like each button you want to do a certain action, like outside of the code, and then call the variable that you've set for that. It's easier. And this one, like, just to get gamepad and keyboard working, I had to like duplicate all the control logic with different buttons. And I was like, there's no way this is the correct way to do it. So I went in the forums. I'm like, how do you do this? They're like, no, that's the correct way to do it. I'm like, what? That's ridiculous. So that's why I haven't gotten around to it, because I don't even know. I'd have to like build like custom logic to somehow like take inputs for a variable for each control in the game, and then be able to like set up a state so it'll take keyboard input and bind them to that variable, and then it's changing all the logic that calls keyboard shortcuts and instead make them call variables, like check for variables. It'd be a huge pain in the ass to fix.
It's just for me because I have a Quartz keyboard like everyone.
I know.
In, like, Germany.
You're not the only person who's like, you fucked over everybody in Germany. I'm like, yeah, well, the Germans don't have a great track record, so I'm okay with that.
I
Germans
can't dash
don't
with
get
Azumi.
right, dude. It's fine.
I don't know. Things are complicated. Just get a gamepad, dude. Plug in an Xbox controller. It's better to play with that anyway.
Problem is, I'm not a gamer, so I don't have that stuff.
Well, that was your first mistake.
Yeah, I thought.
Gamers only. Sorry, you're banned from playing my game now.
Oh no.
Damn. No, look at it like this way. This is one of a few games that I liked. So
you best start believing in gamers, NeverPaint. You are one.
No.
No, he's not. He couldn't even.
You turn into a fucking neck beard with like fucking Mountain Dew in your hand as you walk into the moonlight.
His neck being crossed. That's such a funny image.
What do you mean, Seika? I haven't finished it yet.
No, you keep
Oh,
being
yeah?
like,
Prove
I
it.
have freedom in my room. I don't need to go back to Pokemon, guys.
I literally said I'm gonna stream Sunday or sometime next week.
Now he said it on the show. Now he has to.
Well,
now he has
the
to.
episode comes out after that.
If Nate's
so.
any indication, you can make whatever promise you want on the show and then not follow through, and you won't be killed.
Don't
Even though you
encourage
should
it.
The only thing you
should
need
be.
You need to keep making promises. That's the only thing that matters.
If you want to shame me for something, Seika, shame me for not having finished Undertale in like a year.
No, Pokemon is more important.
I started playing
I can't
Undertale
believe
last Christmas.
You should finish it. It's fucking good.
Yes, thank you.
Probably.
I think Undertale is more important than Pokemon.
What do you mean, Lemon?
There's a philosophical.
I'm sorry for betraying you like this, Seika.
Which is more important to the gaming industry, Pokemon or Undertale? How many copies of Pokemon does the Pope have? Thought so.
Pokemon.
The Pope was given a copy of Undertale, but the Pope buys Pokemon already by himself.
Probably.
You know.
What's the Pope's name? What's the Pope's name?
I wonder what the Shield exclusives are.
No,
The
is
Pope.
it like a country exclusive Mr. Mime for the Vatican? I'm sure there is.
What?
And it should be. Like, you know, like Mr. Mime has like a version of every country in Pokemon Go. It's like
Oh.
Yeah.
That's like Herr Mime or Monsieur Mime.
Oh my god, I wonder if you can play Pokemon Go in the Vatican.
Yeah, that's my question.
It has to be. There has. And
Yeah,
if
you
and
have
if you
to.
can, the Pope is doing
It's
it
probably
every
a
day.
Pokestop.
When we were hanging out with Munchie and Ben
Pokestop.
and everybody, we were playing Pokemon Go, and we fought a Kyogre in a church, because that's where it was. We just had to go into a church and
Whoa.
fight it. It was pretty funny.
Did you all scream? Did you all yell at the
No,
Kyogre,
we were
please?
respectful, which was unfortunate.
Darn.
Yeah, none of us burned up instantly, which I was expecting after all of my blaspheming throughout my years, but, you know.
Yeah. No lightning that
good.
day.
No, unfortunately not. Which is a shame. It would have been super effective against Kyogre.
And 100% accurate in the rain.
Yeah, I love
very true.
Pokemon. Let's keep talking about Pokemon. Tom,
No, no.
Going back to the game then, how is the progress going? What are your plans now?
What are my plans? Oh, Jesus.
For Azumi.
I don't know.
Where you going?
Stay
Didn't he
alive.
just say he doesn't know?
Oh no.
Well, okay. my long game plan for Azumi has always been to try and make her like a brand, like a multimedia sort of thing. I think my big issue with last year is I got so focused on the game, I neglected everything else that I wanted to do, like animations and comics and things like that. I want her to be everywhere. I want Azumi to be. You guys know one of the big inspirations for Azumi was Bloody Bunny, which is like this cool animated series.
That thing was fucking sick.
It's fucking great, right?
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
I didn't find out
What
until
is
later.
it?
It's like this little like bunny character. It's like these series of 3D shorts on YouTube. And I guess a couple years before there were a bunch of 2D shorts where Bloody Bunny was a guy and not a girl, and it was like a lecher, and it's hilarious. But anyways, the new version, the version that I know about is 3D, and Bloody Bunny was like this little girl who got like transformed into like a stuffed animal or something. The story's very threadbare. It's just an excuse to have a cute little bunny beat the fuck out of things in a very visceral manner, and it was great. And so I was in a Discord group, and a bunch of people were like, if you were going to make a video game, what kind of character would you make? And I was like, I'd probably do like a PS2 style sort of character, like a throwback to like mascot characters, but also like edgy and violent, like Hot Topic Bloody Bunny sort of deal. And then they were like, well, then make it, you coward. And so I did, and Azumi was born. And,
sick.
So
yeah, and I saw that you recently made like a little animation with Bloody Bunny.
Yeah, because it was funny because Bloody Bunny's account on YouTube has been dead for like 4 years, and then like a few months ago they were like, "Are you ready for season 2 of Bloody Bunny? What should we call it?"
What?
And they had a poll, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I was super fucking stoked because I was just saying to my friend a couple days ago, I'm like, "Man, I really wish Bloody Bunny kept going." And then like the next day, it was like, "Haha, we heard you." I'm like, "You're welcome, internet." But yeah, so I made a 3D model just to be like, "Oh yeah, Bloody Bunny, like cool," just because I was hyped. And then I needed to put an enemy for Azumi to fucking murder in that little animation.
Yeah.
And Bloody Bunny was the only other one I had set up with that shader, so I'm like, press F for Bloody Bunny and just fucking stab her in the gut.
Yeah.
I like that shader, but you can't see her purple clothes anymore. That's sad.
Can't see what?
Azumi?
Her purple clothes.
Oh, purple clothes.
But the
yeah.
aesthetic is so sick, dude. It doesn't matter.
The aesthetic is pretty
Tom.
dope, but I
Yeah.
don't know. It's not doing too well on Newgrounds. I don't know if like the
no.
Newgrounds people just aren't vibing with the black and white. I think like with the internet, if you don't have flashy colors, people don't care.
No, that's so true. Actually, a friend of mine, Two Sips, he got on the front page recently again because he does art, and he said, "I think the trick is just full saturation, red and blue, high contrast shit," because that's what he's gotten on the front page like multiple times.
There
now.
you have all your color schemes and character designs ready-made for the internet.
pretty much complementary colors.
Yeah,
Get
Saturation,
the attention of all those
100%.
ADHD
brightness
children.
100.
I'm glad that my
It's not
favorite
even.
colors are red and
It's
green.
not even wrong.
Just white.
It's the worst.
Use the white square.
Just a white square. Yeah.
Tom.
Yo.
Okay, I'm gonna air a couple of my gripes with the whole Asumi concept multimedia franchise thing.
Go for it.
There's not enough of it. Give me more.
She's existed. Well, yeah, basically, she's existed for a while now. But
Yep.
the only thing we know about her is a little bit of her backstory and her character design. I need to know what the design style of Asumi and her world and her media is going to be. I need to have like a character sheet for her in a specific color scheme and font. I need to know what everything else around Asumi is going to look like. What kind of city is she in? What kind of story is she going to be part of? What kind of world is she in? What kind of other people live around her?
Where is the Lord, Tom?
Yeah.
Not just lore, but like what aesthetic persona does Asumi have besides her
Whoa.
character? What is her
Heard
context?
that term in a long time. I mean,
It's like when you think Sonic works because of the context he's in, because of the world he's in, the purpose,
Does
the
he,
music.
Because of the porn.
does he
Yeah.
though? Think of like
But
Sonic
Sonic-
1's context versus Sonic Adventure 1's context versus Sonic and the Secret Rings context.
But
versus Sonic
they all
Colors
work
context.
very well individually, and they all have different appeals.
Sure. But there's no unifying
Asumi's
world
missing
design
that.
to Sonic. Like in one game, he's like helping little helpless animals. In the other game, he's fucking a princess, like human. So like, you know,
Have you
he's
seen
running the
that?
gamut. No pun intended.
I still think
I don't
he's
disagree.
not that interested
I think,
on his
I think
own.
having established like grounded. Like, that's my big problem, right? Because all I did last year was just work on a video game that has no context by design because it's supposed to be a Sega game.
Exactly.
That was bad, which is why I want to fix
Yes.
it, which is why I'm writing a script for something right now. Oh,
Hey.
did I say that out loud?
Oh, oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh no, he said
What
it
I'm
on the
saying is,
podcast. It's never gonna
Tom,
happen.
I need to be able to just think of Azumi and imagine a set of really cool color shapes and fonts in my head. And I don't right now.
Purple, red, black and white, high contrast, deep shadows, egg roll, culturally inappropriate font, but that's the logo font. Unironically, it's called egg roll. I'm sorry, Japan. It's just what I had
Not
available.
even Japan.
I'm sorry, China. I'm sorry, Asia. I'm sorry, everybody who is offended by that. So, like, mostly white people. Yeah, that's what it is. I don't make the rules. I just download from dafont.com. This episode was brought to you by dafont.com.
Yeah.
But
Da font.
I don't know. Her world design has always been like rule of cool, because like the concept like was Bloody Bunny, but also like Shinobi for PS2. That's like my favorite PlayStation game ever. It's like so fucking like aesthetic.
Really?
And that game is literally just like you're a ninja in like a fucking like ninja times clan fighting ninja enemies, and then you get attacked by a helicopter that's possessed by Satan, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And then you're in a city, and then you're being attacked by a spider with a tiger face in the city, and it's like, what the fuck is happening?
Tiger.
And then you're climbing like a water tower, and then there's a fucking hydra on top of it, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but this is all my jam. I want all of this, like, constantly.
See, if you draw Azumi in all of those contexts, even if it's just a sketch, my brain goes wild and immediately loves the character. But
Yeah,
I
she
think
needs
that's all in your
more
head, and
context.
most
She's
people
lacking
don't
so much
think of
fucking
it.
context, which is the problem.
Yeah.
You know that
Context requires work though, and I'm lazy.
Yeah, you know that
But-
animation.
But you work
She
really
makes it
hard
look
on
cute and
on
nice.
other things.
Well, okay. One of the things I've been reflecting on recently is that, like, man, not a lot of people know who I am. Why is that? And it's like, well, because I don't do anything. Like, I just talk about shit, and I don't finish anything. I'm like, Gib has fucking
true.
comics. Ben has fucking comics. I'm just over here geeking out about shaders and figuring out how to, like, make vectors, essentially, in 3D, because that's, like, cool. That's how the black and white
Whoa.
thing works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Because
see.
like the way that shader work that I did for that last animation was that like the textures are all really low resolution, and that's why like the effect I never really played with it before, because like as soon as you get close to the model, it turns into like a pixelated PS1 looking nightmare, and not in the cool way, but in like this looks like a blurry, disgusting mess.
Oh no.
So there's like this, the way you do shaders and blenders, it's like with nodes. So each like node does like a sort of calculation or something, and then you string them together, and they kind of one affects the other, and then you get to the output node, and it ta-da makes a fucking graphic. And there's one called shader to RGB, which takes the light data and converts it into colors, and you can choose what colors you want it to be. So I just take the texture and I plug it into the shader to RGB, and then I put it in a color ramp so it goes from only black and only white, so you can zoom in as much as you want, and it basically works like a vector because it's just feeding black and white color data to all the texture.
Really, really interesting. I get what you mean. That's really cool.
So
I like that.
That's how that like shader works. It's like you can get like on those close-ups on Azumi's face. It's only like a 1024 by 1024 texture, but that close it still looks sharp because of that
Yeah,
shader to
'cause it's a
RGB.
vector.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So that's what I do instead of developing the world, which great use of my time clearly, but yeah, you know,
I
priorities.
feel like some sort of weekly sketch of just Asumi doing something.
That's
little-
kind of what I want to
to
do.
grow her presence.
The little spam and
Need-
punishment animation you did was already so much more of like character
Yeah.
than you ever
Yeah.
had before.
I'm just like, my big issue is that like I'm like really good at coming up with big sprawling story ideas, but if you tell me to do a 4-panel joke, I'll just sit there for months and be like, what is funny?
I mean, I feel similar. I wanted to do this little never Twix things, but I never could think of jokes.
I'm just terrible with jokes. I'm terrible with even just like small things. Like what should I draw Azumi doing?
I mean, just draw her like punching a giant sea serpent like Luffy or whatever. Just
I mean,
a
I could.
panel of something cool.
I don't know. I think I overthink it.
Maybe.
Which is
Just concept
a
art,
problem.
man. We want to see your process. We want to see what's inside your brain.
do you still
know if you
do
want
2D
that.
drawings?
Sometimes. I still have my iPad, my baby iPad, and do some sketching here and there, but like nothing worth posting. Like I haven't drawn a finished drawing in like months. You know, it's mostly just I just do like
Fair.
textures and stuff.
Fair.
I don't know. Drawing frustrates me for more than after I do it more than like 5 minutes, but 3D is like kind of therapeutic once I get past that initial hump. It's like I have a starting problem. I think most people who procrastinate, they just have a starting problem like I do, where you'll just be like, I don't want to do it, and then you force yourself to do it, and 5 minutes in, you're like, why didn't I do this? Like, this is fucking great.
Yes,
I'm having a great time.
I know
I
that
have
feeling
the
very
opposite
well.
problem to you, Tom. I really want to get into 3D, but it's so intimidating to me, and I can draw forever.
It's like, I don't know. I think if you can draw and you have no interest in doing animation or like a huge long format project, it's not worth getting into. Like the only reason I started doing 3D,
I mean, it's worth getting into because I'm into getting paid, you know, and 3D is like really good for that.
That's true. If you're intimidated by 3D, I would suggest looking into digital sculpting, because that's like the more creative way of doing 3D. Because it's just like, here's a big ball of digital clay, take your tablet, you can extrude or like push in, and there's no like topology or any of that to worry about. It's just like hand, screen, go to town, and you just kind of sculpt out what you want to do, and it's much simpler.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Also, get into traditional sculpting.
It's pretty similar to that,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's like saying like, you know, it's traditional sculpting, but you have Control Z, which makes it infinitely better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The thing I wanted to talk about 3D is that I haven't done any of the traditional like 3D ball of clay sort of sculpting, but I have done a ton of parametric 3D for architecture and stuff, and it feels really, really different from drawing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I was thinking about somehow integrating it to make backgrounds for a comic, maybe to create a little city and then pose characters inside of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that would work, but I'm curious. I'm curious how.
I know a lot of people who do that. In fact, like almost all modern comic books, like Marvel and DC, it's all 3D.
Wait, really? What?
Including, well, what they do. Okay,
They
like
trace over it, I
they
guess.
trace over everything. The backgrounds and
Fuck.
the characters are all traced from 3D models.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, because like
Oh my God.
deadlines, dude, like most of the penciling and stuff is all traced over 3D, and like
Wow.
sometimes you can tell because like some, you know, you're posing a 3D character, the anatomy doesn't always work as expected, and you look at a panel, you're like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I mean, if it's good enough for Marvel and DC, like, do it up. I mean,
That
Marvel
makes
and
sense,
DC aren't what
though.
they used to be,
Yeah.
but not everybody does it, obviously. There's some books you look at and clearly, like, this was obviously done freehand. But a lot of the, like, you know, the DC house style and, like, you know, that kind of stuff
Right,
where it's,
right,
like,
yeah. I know
trying
what you
to
mean.
be realistic proportioned or, like, idealized proportions, a lot of those are just traced.
Have you seen the manga that do that? Like I've seen a couple manga that'll have girls be the exact same model that they're using. They're just reposing it, and they'll just do the
Yeah.
tracing, and it looks so.
That's
I mean, it's
gross.
a default feature in
Clip Studio.
Yeah, Clip
Yeah,
Studio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
Clip
have
Studio
that
has
doll you
all
can just
the
pose
like
in.
has the grass and the 3D models of everything. You can just you don't even have to draw.
It's
You
just
can
when I
just
when I
build
can tell
a Lego
when I can
thing.
tell that it's there, I'm just like, come on.
Right. I mean, it's like, because like if you're gonna do that, you have to do it with basically everything, because as soon as you start making custom assets, the aesthetic changes.
Yeah.
Even if you're trying to stay on model, which is why, like, despite the fact that like Blend Swap and everything has like millions of files I can just download for free, I try and do everything myself just to keep the aesthetic through line consistent.
Well, yeah.
Makes total sense, yeah. I know what you mean. I've tried messing around with different materials downloaded from Clip Studio.
Wait, did he cut out or did we all
I
cut
think
out?
did he
Yeah.
cut out for me? Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't hear anything
Yeah,
anymore.
Lemon just cut out for a sec.
Oh no.
Play the Jeopardy music.
I died during
Okay,
a
Lemon's back.
sentence. Oh well.
Say-
No, it's fine.
say it
He's
again.
alive.
Nothing interesting. We can move on.
Okay.
Yeah, so like in terms of 3D, I don't do sculpting myself yet. I want to, But the reason I haven't really delved into it is, one, I'm scared of learning new things, even though I'm not scared of learning new things. I am at the same time.
Are you though? Isn't that all you do?
It is all I do, but it takes me a while because I'm like, what if I fail? And it's just like, shut up, you idiot. But like, but also is that like the reason I like low poly is like a couple reasons. One, it's not very system intense, and I don't have great computers, so that helps. Two, I like the PlayStation 2. It's my favorite thing of all time, and it's fun to play PlayStation 2 games and then reverse engineer things you see in there and be like, haha, I figured it out. Like, dude, I just played for the first time yesterday Okami.
Oh
yeah. My god! I got
it's great.
I got Okami HD for like $6 plus shipping, and it came in yesterday.
That's a great price.
And I played it, and I'm like, this is the best looking video game ever made. Like,
I know, right?
Fuck your photorealistic pores that react to light on Kratos' armpits. This is gorgeous.
Wait, Tom, have you played? Tom, I know you're a big Kamiya guy. Have you played Beautiful Joe?
Of course,
Yes.
I played Beautiful Joe
okay.
like the day it came out, and like, you see
that one's got some really tasty cell shading mixed with some amazing 2D drawn backgrounds.
I
It's
love
great.
the use of 2D in Clover's
I
work.
know.
Because here's the thing. I was playing Okami yesterday, and I was having fun because one of the things you get really early is you can like pause the game, make a brush stroke, and it works like a sword slash. You can cut stuff off. So I'm just like, what the fuck can I cut in this game? This is like some Metal Gear Rising stuff 10 years before. So I'm going around
Everything.
slicing things up, and then I realize, I'm like, wait a minute. I pause and I look, and I'm like, all the trees are sprites. None of the trees are 3D. They're all sprites. But when you cut them, it turns into a 3D model to fall down in 3D. And I'm like, how do they do that? That's fucking brilliant. It was so great.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Because like it's so hard.
Great.
It's so hard to do cell shaded graphics on a PS2 because like your polygon head count, you know, your headroom for like as many triangles you can draw on screen is really low because it's fucking old. But like the way you do real-time outlines of these games is you do what's called backface culling. So you duplicate the mesh and have it what's it called? Fucking backface culling on there. So like you can see through the duplicate mesh, so you can only see the extent it extrudes around the base model, and that's what tricks you into thinking it looks like an outline. But the bad news is it doubles your poly count for every asset that uses it, because you're basically making it twice. So all the models have to be really simple. So Clover's nicking and tucking here and there to bring the poly count down by using sprites like for the trees, because then it's just one quad as opposed to having to render out that entire tree in the environment multiple times. Such a good idea! 10 out of 10.
Fascinating.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's
Love
really
it.
cool.
Gorgeous.
Actually, really smart.
The anime was weird.
The anime?
Wait, there's an
There was an
Okami
anime for
anime?
Beautiful Joe.
Oh, for Beautiful Joe. I thought I was thinking of Okami. I'm like, they made an Okami anime?
Oh no.
Right?
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't know.
That would be wild. But yeah.
There's a Bayonetta anime, though, apparently. I haven't seen it.
Oh, that's weird.
But there is one.
That would be an experience.
I think it's pretty bad, just like the DMC anime. But whatever.
We don't talk about the DMC anime.
God, I remember a Nex a while back was like, oh, I love Devil May Cry. I used to watch the anime all the time. And I was like,
no.
what? There's an anime?
Yeah. It took me like 4 seconds to realize this was going to be strange. Because he's just like, walks into a bar, like, what'll it be?
Yeah.
Strawberry Sundae. I'm just like, oh, all right. This is strange.
Why did they give him the... He already had the pizza thing. Why did they give him
That
the
was my
Strawberry Sundae
question
thing?
back in the day, and it persists to the present. Because, like, they referenced the anime in Devil May Cry 5.
They do.
But they don't have
And
him
it's
drinking
really
a Strawberry
funny.
Sundae, do they? I wonder why. But you know what was great about that fucking anime? It had some of like the best like blood, like the blood in that fucking, like when he cut a demon and like the blood comes out. It's not
That
just
is
like
true.
it's not just an effect. Like it has like mass. It like splashes against the ground and like bounces
the whole
off
shading
things.
of that anime is fantastic.
And
it's
it's like, dude,
moment to moment, it looks beautiful.
This fucking blood is badass. But that's like
Yeah.
that's about it. That's about what it has going for it. Good animation.
The guns and the swords look really good as well. It's just like really well shaded. I think it looks pretty cool.
It's a shame about the story and the Strawberry Sundays. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Press F.
Dude, remember when Dante and Trish just they just go to meet this biker gang, and then they beat them up, and then they race them, and that's the episode. That's an episode.
I
of
think
Devil
I
May
watched
Cry,
two
the anime.
episodes of it, and before I dropped it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I got that far. This was a while. This was like 2007 or 2008 when it came out.
Something
Like that. I remember I was watching that on Stage 6. Press F for Stage 6, the greatest streaming website ever. Do any of you youngsters remember Stage 6 in 2007?
Of course not.
All right, it was like it was a streaming site made by Divx. So Divx was like the big codec back in the day, and they made this site. I'm assuming they made it because their branding was all over it, and like you could stream things just like YouTube, but then all of them had a download button. You could download all your files in like 1080p,
yeah, just like Pornhub.
Yeah. So. I mean, where do you think Pornhub got the idea? From Stage 6. Probably.
Hell yeah.
Maybe not the other way around. I don't know. I don't even know when Pornhub started. Pornhub's been around in some form or another for all of time.
Yeah.
It's always been there, existing in the shadows when you needed it. I don't know. But Stage 6 was dope, and I was watching that, and Kamen Rider Kabuto, and fucking Death Note, and Shinkenger, all on that site. And then Den-O came out, and then I stopped caring because I didn't really like Den-O that much. And then the site died, and then I cried because it was a big loss that day.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Damn, I
Shit, man.
wish illegal
I'm
streaming
old.
sites had download buttons that were like trustworthy.
Dude.
Just
Wait.
torrent, man.
Pause
Torrent's my
before I need to do a public service announcement for everybody, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I found this out. So, are you like me? And you sometimes you're like, man, I want to download a YouTube video, but all the good YouTube download sites, they suck now, and they're full of ads, or they don't work, or they're crap. All right.
They usually work for me, but go on.
VLC. You can download YouTube files from
Wait, what?
VLC.
What?
Yes, and it works
Oh my god.
every time. So this is what you do. I'm going to give you a little tutorial right now on how to become a god, okay? All right. You open up VLC, okay? And then
Yeah.
you don't I know opening up VLC just by itself, like you never do that, right? But you open up VLC and then you go to media, then you go to open network stream. You paste in your YouTube link and hit play. The video will start to play in VLC. Once it starts playing, you go to tools and then you want to go to media information. And in the media information at the bottom is a location. It's a giant URL. You copy that into your browser and you can download the file from there.
Huh.
What?
What? You have to copy it
That's-
back into your browser?
Yeah, it's very strange.
What is? How does that make?
That's
Do they
interesting,
host
huh?
that somewhere, or is it downloading it from YouTube through a roundabout?
I'm assuming
way?
that link is like the direct link to like where that video file from YouTube is on their server,
Whoa.
and you just pull it from there.
Whoa!
Amazing.
Can you get around like whenever the video won't play in your region with that kind of stuff?
I have not tried. I can try it right now if you have a video.
Oh my god!
I can't think of one.
That's crazy.
But
I mean,
sometimes
in
it
the
happens.
U.S.,
For
what
some
isn't, what
reason-
isn't available in the U.S.?
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
true. Yeah.
For some
But,
reason, VLC seems
fuck
to
you.
be like one of the most capable softwares in the world.
Yeah.
Because I was
VLC is my favorite VPN.
because I a while ago I wanted to rip a DVD that
VPN player.
had like a lock thing. I couldn't copy it of my burner thing, and I just looked up online and they said just play it in VLC and record it, and that works. That worked.
Yeah,
God, that
VLC
reminds
is-
me of a really funny story I have. Basically, when I was like 14, I think, I went to this camp and they took pictures at this camp. And they give you all the pictures in a CD at the end of the camp. But it was a locked CD, so you couldn't like delete them or copy them onto your computer. And I remember.
I mean, why?
like,
Why did they
just
care what you did with the pictures?
I don't know. But
Probably,
it was really funny
probably
because
because
I
it's
had
like
this
pictures from
picture.
other people on it, and
Oh, that makes total sense actually. But now they just post them on social media, so I guess.
I know.
The camp, it stopped them from revealing their secrets.
Oh no, they stopped.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, can't have this. Abort.
God, I can't believe I disconnected
It's
in the
a
middle of the story.
DVD. It's a block of a DVD reaching through time and space, and
The hacking
Wow.
camp.
whoa,
They grab Lemon by the lips through the
Yeah.
computer.
all gonna be deleted.
At least it's by the
Too much
lips.
power.
Lemon, you
I'm
back?
scared.
Yeah, I'm back.
I was just constantly
Anyway,
green for
point
me.
is, TLDR.
Yeah, same.
Uh,
Oh no.
He's screaming. We just can't hear him.
It's just a
hope-
constant
I'm
yell.
I
I'm
do
so
hope.
sorry for this, Alex.
I hope he has noticed.
I have no connection and I must scream.
Am I back now? Is this okay now?
Okay.
Well,
Hello? Is this back? Is it okay?
R.I.P. that story, I guess.
for today's LemonTart recipe, we're gonna be.
We're gonna be making. You're gonna need one internet connection.
You take.
Hello?
Tart.
Is it
Hello.
back?
Hello.
Is it okay?
Lemon,
Yes,
you're back.
you're live.
Oh my god, I was saying like hello every 3 seconds.
Damn.
Anyway, TLDR to that story. Sorry, Alex. Basically, I had a picture with a cute girl, and I didn't want my parents to see it and be embarrassed. So I looked it up, and I dug out VLC, and I managed to get into that CD and delete.
Nice. But why would you
Nice,
be
you.
embarrassed? My parents would have been proud.
That reminds me of
VLCs.
when I was a little kid. I had a copy of Grand Theft Auto. I was not allowed to have M-rated games, so I went to my school and I printed out a fake T logo and I pasted it over the M logo.
Oh my
What?
god, that's so dumb.
So it-
Amazing.
So it looked like it was rated teen because they were too dumb to know what games were, but they knew to look out for that big old scary
That's why they do
But
it.
how could you possibly fool them with that?
Did you
M.
wait?
Because like
Did it
you,
work?
yeah, because what you do is like you take out the label, right? Then you paste it on there and you put it back in the sleeve. So just at a
Yeah.
glance, it just looks like a T.
Oh, I thought you put it on the
But
CD.
it would have
but
been like a
also
shitty
not
low-res
that
print.
smart.
No, it's like a laser printer.
Okay.
It was a good. It was a
Okay.
good quality. Actually, you know what I think I did? I think I found a ad for a T-rated game in a gaming
And
like
then
a
you
copy
cut
of
out,
Electronic Gaming Monthly, and it was the same size. So I cut it out and put it on there, and it looked legit. It was great. It was my first. Back before Photoshop, we had our
Oh,
ways.
that's awesome.
They
We
were
had our
basically
ways, my friends.
selling fake money in that magazine. Like,
It was
can
brilliant.
cut
It
out
was a
all your
brilliant
fake
maneuver.
ratings.
Yeah, those were the olden days. Back when that shit mattered, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking
of the old
Vidya,
times,
Hmm?
Tom,
go.
how did you start in art? What got you into art when you were a child? I assume.
Well, I scribbled like pretty casually for, since I was a little kid, but like I never took art seriously. I was just like, this is something fun I'll do, I guess. I started like drawing, like saying like, maybe I should draw. Because all I did was just play video games. Like I played PlayStation 2 constantly. I lied about having homework so I could play more PS2. I would at my school, teachers would pass out a rubric that told you like how much all your assignments were worth. So I'd min max, like I can skip this one and this one and this one and still pass. So I would just strategically not do homework to play more
Very
PlayStation.
relatable.
So
Any
like this,
percent in school to
like
play
this
video
one
games?
dude, this one like fucking geology class, the guy was like, all right, so the test is 1 page and it's worth 100 points. The homework packet is 10 pages and it's worth 1 point. I'm like, go fuck yourself. I can get a 95 in this class and do no homework. So I did.
Why did they say that even?
They just passed out like these things in the beginning of the school year and tell you like this is how everything's going to be graded. And
I see.
probably
Yeah, they do that here too.
Yeah.
You always know what percentage each thing is
so
worth.
I could just
Like sometimes there's
It's actually a good idea.
visits to museums that count like 5%, and some people just don't go and get 95.
yeah, it
We
was
never
silly.
had that. That's
It's,
So-
it's
Really?
completely
You don't know-
it's completely intransparent here. It's just
What?
whatever.
That's
Sam, we didn't have
At
that
least
either.
in school.
That's so weird. Here it's always been like first class, teacher introduces the subject, breakdown of what each thing is worth. We have a project, what's that worth? We have an exam, what's that worth? Just so you know how much you can afford to gamble on each thing, I guess.
No,
I mean,
they
we never
they
had
just
that, but
announced
maybe
it.
it's because I was always in public school. So yeah.
I mean, in the school I went to, they just announced it like randomly throughout the year. Yeah, like in 3 weeks we're gonna write this exam, and like a week later we're gonna do this, and just as we went
We
along.
didn't know how much the exams were worth, not even university?
Wait, in university? Yes, of course, but not in school.
Well, no, I mean, sure.
In university we always have just one exam
Wait, really?
per
Oh, that's
per course.
boring.
Yeah, normally.
Oh.
Anyways, Tom, please continue.
Yeah, you were addicted to video
so
games. and
so
then
I was if I'm kind of happy that I am old, because if I was who I was in high school like 5 years ago, like I would just be like, oh, guys, I'm hardcore. I'm gonna be a pro Fortnite streamer. This is what I'm gonna do with my life, and I never would like become an artist. But that was like impossible back in the day, because like once I got to like a junior in high school, they were just like, so what are you gonna do with your life? I'm like, I don't fucking know. And then like my friend was into photography, and my other friend was drawing. I'm like, I guess I'll draw. I guess comics are cool? ?
Peer pressure
So
to art.
I was just like, I'm gonna draw.
That's really funny.
And then I was reading Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, and that's when I started listening to Indie Spinner Rack. I'm like, I'm gonna get published by a small press, and that was the plan for a while. And then I found out about this thing called YouTube.com. And then this guy, M. Strange, who did We Are the Strange, an entire like feature-length film he did by himself, like stop motion. And he's just like, yeah, you can just be an artist and do what you want and live for yourself and not have to have a boss. I'm just like, I'm in. Let's do it. And from that moment on, I decided I will never be a slave to the man, no matter the consequences. And here I am today, a broken 31-year-old sticking to his guns.
Heck yeah.
The man's not so bad, Tom. You should try it sometime.
I have done it a few times. I had a job.
To be fair, I have heard horror stories.
I've
about
had
your
a job
jobs.
that was so bad I lost money.
Oh, no.
working there.
What?
Okay.
That might happen to be the summer.
Did you do
So this
negative work?
happened. This was like 2015, 2016, like when the YouTube thing kind of bottomed out for me,
Right.
and I was like, I gotta make ends meet. I still have student loans to pay off. GG college, total waste of time. So I was like, I'm gonna get a job, and my parents' friend worked at like a placement agency. She's like, I'll help you find a job, you idiot. I'm like, okay.
Slam dunks you
So-
right in the worst job she had.
So like, well, okay. She was like, well, because my car at the time was dead. It did not function, and I did not have the money to fix the car. So I either needed something that was like local or like a work from home thing, preferably a work from home thing, because getting changed in the morning sucks. I hate morning routines. I'm lazy.
What do you mean?
When I get up, I like to just like get up and like take an hour to just kind of like become awake. I'm not a morning person. So like
dream.
when it's like, you got to go to work in like 20 minutes, and it's like, fucking shoot me. So also I wasn't drinking coffee at the time, so that probably made it much worse. But
Life is much worse in general, yeah.
agreed. So I was like, okay, I'd rather work from home because I don't have this car, and then I can fix the car with the money eventually. And so she's like, okay, I found you this work from home job. I'm like, sick. So I was like doing some phone interviews. Everything seemed okay. The guy seemed like an idiot. Like everybody I talked to this job was they just kind of talked like this. It seemed like their soul had been sucked from their bodies, and now they were just an autonomous husk that had no capacity for emotion whatsoever. It was like working
Maybe
for Vulcans.
That was their way to cope.
I guess. So like I'm like,
Soon
all
you
right,
will
this
be
is
like
weird,
this
but
too.
fine. Like I'll just work from home. And then like 2 weeks before I started the job, they were like, actually, we're gonna pay you less money. I'm like, oh, fuck you. And and you have to drive. We're 2 towns over. I'm like,
No.
so I had to scrounge up the last of my money to fix my car. And I get there, and everyone is dead. Like everyone is like
Wait, just actually
Oh,
dead.
no.
actually no, not actually dead, but like their souls are gone. They're zombies. They're zombies. It's just like this like filing paperwork, boring basic bitch job. But everybody there is just like broken. Like just like I don't know how else to describe it.
You're painting a really cool picture in my mind, man.
become
It's
their
not as
leader.
cool as you're picturing, but it's just like everyone's just an automaton. It's like some like badminton club place, and I was like, okay, your job is to like open up these magazines that people send us and put all of the inventory into our Excel spreadsheets. I'm like, so this is like the worst job in the
it's
world.
Data input.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So it was just like, I'm just sitting there every day, like basically trying not to fall asleep because it is the most boring thing. And then sometimes they'd be like, you need to bring this box upstairs. We have overstock that needs to go. I'm like, please God, let me get up from this desk. I will do anything. So I just run up there. I get on my phone. I'd hide for like 5 minutes. You know, nobody notices. Nobody cares because everyone's dead. So like 2 weeks go by, and eventually they're just like, actually, we crunched the numbers. We can't afford to hire somebody. Bye.
Wow.
And I was like, oh. So I got one
You're like,
paycheck.
Thank God.
I was ready to quit at that point anyways, but like I got one paycheck for $140.
Oh no.
What?
But it cost $700 to fix the car to get there.
No.
So I ended up making like negative $500, something dollars working at this badminton place.
that's
And I broke my
Fix your
phone.
car.
And I broke my
You did
phone. So
fix
that was
your
another
car.
$200 down the drain. Yeah. So
Amazing.
Fuck, dude.
terrible. And then the next job was when I was working at the abandoned building, and that was a good job.
I know that one.
And then I haven't done anything since because I've been a cripple for a year.
No.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. So
Speaking
How's that, by the way, right now?
yeah.
I'm recovering pretty well. I'm doing physical therapy now.
That's good.
I had like a scare like last week because my doctor had said for a while, he's like, you can go back to the gym if you want. Just keep it really light. So I was like, okay. So I went to the gym and I was like, well, I don't want to lift anything, but let's go on the treadmill. I usually would finish my workouts with like 20 minutes on the treadmill. So I went on the treadmill for 20 minutes, felt fine, went home. A couple hours later, my dad was like, hey, I know you wanted to go back to the gym. Do you want to go to the gym? I'm like, I'll go again. Fuck it. So I did another 20 minutes.
no.
And then the next day, I just couldn't walk again. And I was like,
No.
uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It like took a day to kick in, but the next day it's like, hey, remember that thing you got surgery for? It's back. So I was like, oh shit. So I was hobbling around with a cane again. I couldn't get out of bed. I'm like, oh no, we literally just announced RadCon 4. Son of a bitch. So I like kept it close to the chest. I didn't say anything. I'm like, oh, I don't want to say anything yet. This would be fucking bad. So I went back to the surgeon. He was like, you'll be fine. You just pushed it too hard. Maybe don't go to the gym. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. I figured that part out. So it's better now, but it took like 5 days for it to like settle back down again. I'm just like, oh God. Well, so much for getting beach bod ready for RadCon 4.
Damn.
This is a little unrelated, but I'm curious about your living situation right now.
Yeah, I'm back at my folks' place. From there, I'm either
Right.
going to, because like I can't work, so I can't like afford a place, especially not in Massachusetts. Don't believe the Ben Saint lies. Boston's not great. Boston's expensive as fuck. Like, the only reason
I
Ben can
figured.
live in Boston is because he has like 7 roommates.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
their place probably costs like what, like 2 or 3 fucking grand a month or some crazy shit between all of them. Don't quote me.
Seriously?
I don't know.
That's wild.
I don't know if that's true, but there's like 6 people there and they all pay a couple $100. So do the math, Like, and that's like a cheap
Yeah.
place. That's outside of Boston, and it's not. The real estate here is a nightmare. So I can't afford to live here. So once I'm healthy again, I guess Digi has been like, you can come down to Virginia Beach and hang out with us. I'm like, that would be kind of cool. Because like Nate might be going down there and we can do some cool shit together.
Yeah.
Content wise, possibly.
Ooh.
I have a friend
Exciting.
in
I am content, perhaps.
yeah, I have a friend in Ohio who's like might want me to move down with them.
Ohio.
Ohio gozaimasu.
That's where it's
Well, see,
coming from. No, I
The thing I've been saying is like I need to go Ohio because Ohio is for lovers and my heart is in Ohio. I got to go find it out there.
Hell yeah.
That's some boomer memes
Oh,
for you right
hell
there.
yeah.
Fucking early to remember fucking Hawthorne Heights, guys. Yeah, that was a thing. Even I wasn't
Oh,
cringy
okay.
enough to be into Hawthorne Heights back in the day. Me and my friends just made fun of that song ironically. It's the only reason I know it. But yeah, and or it's go back to the plan of buying a fucking van and being a nomad and just like tooling around and hanging out with people all over the place and just being a weirdo. My patrons were unironically disappointed when they found out I wasn't living in the car anymore. They're like, "Oh, that's not exciting."
That's what I was
Bringing
about
up
to
the
say.
homeless
Because
It's part of your brand now.
it is
Like-
very
Like,
on brand.
when somebody thinks Tommy Oliver, somebody they think this disheveled like living on the fringes art boy.
And they're right.
When I see anyone
Yeah.
parked in a car, I'm like, is that him?
No, not
You
yet.
see an iPad sitting on like somebody's car seat, and you're like,
It's
Exactly.
yeah.
I'll do meetups. I'll just announce them on Instagram and be like, I'm having a meetup
Yeah.
wherever the fuck I
"Oh,
am.
that's awesome."
See,
I
you're
mean-
even more hype. You're hype for me to be homeless. Everyone wants me to be homeless.
No, no way. I'm ironically happy that you're not. That
Just
sounds
hyped
terrifying,
to
dude.
meet you. I'm hyped to meet you.
if you have a comfy car, you're not homeless.
But if you're
That's
homeless, you
true.
get to live at McDonald's.
Well, you can take a van and like convert it and like make it not
No,
garbage.
stop
no,
saying
that's
this.
wait, no, hold
Noodle
on.
is so
hold on.
close
no,
to
no, no,
doing that, though.
Okay,
Please
Tom,
don't.
listen. I legit. So, life has thrown me a few curveballs, but I was like legit looking into buying a van because I'm a driver and I drive in literally the most common and biggest van you can get commercially. I was so close to making that move.
What, like a Chevy Express or a Ford Transit or something?
It's what is it? It's the Ram. What is it?
Oh, the ProMaster.
The Ram
ProMaster Ram.
Yeah.
That's the one I would want to get because those have flat walls, so they're easier to build in, as opposed to like a Chevy Express, which is curved and they're a pain in the ass to put drywall and stuff on.
The trick is to make them not look like a murder van, because I drive one every day of my life.
But I want that aesthetic. I want people to leave me the fuck alone.
I guess so. I just don't want anyone coming up like with pitchforks trying to drive out a monster.
Yeah, you don't
van.
want the cops on you, I guess.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. because it's so often you're just driving down the road and somebody drives by with like an old white van with no windows.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yup.
That guy has
That's
10
shady.
bodies in that car
Maybe
right
it's
now.
a murderer. Maybe
I mean, I
it's
guess the
Tommy
trick
Oliver.
in that case is just painted like a really bright color, so you're very clearly calling attention to yourself, so you're not a murderer.
It has like ice cream written on it.
It's like an animal. It's bright colored, so you don't get close. And
Yeah.
Murderer or
Just
indie
paints
dev?
eyes all over the van.
What's the difference, really?
What? Yeah, honestly.
You go in and there's Azumi posters all over. It's like, murderer and the furry.
Yeah. God, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse.
Just opens your van and there's just Azumi plushes everywhere. Yes.
They're backer
Guess
rewards, I
Sumizaki
promise.
just
They're back here, I promise. Yes.
I'd love to have Azumi merch like that, like a fucking plush, like Gib did with the pump plush. I want one of those. They're expensive to do a one-off, though.
I'm so mad that didn't work out. I really, really wanted one.
Yeah, I backed it. I put my
Me
money
too.
where my
Me
mouth
too.
was. All you cowards out there who didn't.
But really,
Every
like
other person who did
imagine like an online creator living in a van and driving around America. You could do like little vlogs from different cities and places.
there's
or just
literally a
in the
girl
world.
that blew up because she's literally doing that.
she bought the wrong van.
And it went boom.
There's a whole YouTube community of van life people. That's like a thing.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
hashtag on Instagram. It's
Oh,
real.
are there van cons which
Yes,
happen
yes.
in
Yes,
Vancouver?
unironically, yes.
Yes.
Unironically, yes. If you can think it, there's a convention about it. It's like the new Rule 34.
Well, you know,
Van
we have to
con.
go.
America is so run on like cars and stuff that living in a van is not unfeasible. It sounds weird to anyone who's not in America.
Well, it
Sounds
wouldn't
like
be running then.
dystopian
It would be
to
driven. Haha.
What do you mean? People live in
but the
vans for like
engine's
a whole
running,
summer
right?
for vacation.
I don't know.
Honey,
I'm
Tom,
interested.
Tom,
Yes,
if you
it's-
get a van, I'll get my van and we'll van centipede together.
Yeah,
Sound good?
sounds sick. I'm down.
Yeah,
Okay,
only
so
one of you
van
has to pay
centipede.
gas.
Once
one is
gasoline
just
goes
direct.
into the mouth
I don't
of
know
the
if we'll
other.
do back to back. We can't do front to front.
No,
That's
no.
for sure.
It'll be the caravan.
It'll be the caravan. Okay.
The caravan.
The caravan. Yes,
Yeah,
Tom. like,
exactly.
yo, we need to make this happen.
That's our new event. That's like our convention. It's called the Caravan. You all have to just line up and we go in a row and we just go somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Let's Azumi. Let's go.
That's good
All right, I'm
marketing.
down.
I might be working over there in the summer. I'll get a van too.
Yes,
I'll do it.
yes.
I'll join.
Please, dude.
Vans are so expensive
try.
though.
They are. They really are.
They're like
The-
$40,000.
Long tangent here. What are we talking about?
Oh,
Dude,
we're-
I don't even know.
You know what we're talking about? We're
Fucking
talking about Tom's daily routine. How's that
Cell
going?
shading.
My daily
Oh
routine.
yeah, what do you do
Yeah,
every
can you
day?
Yeah, what is your life like?
All right, my
now?
daily routine is I get up.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food
Is it daily?
is my daily routine. I eat my life. No. Favorite food is probably, I know it's basic, bitch. I really like pizza. One of my favorite things to do is like to go to all
Why
the
did I ask another question?
local pizza places and like try them out and just compare them in an area. That's what I was doing was like in
Like Papa
in
John?
Boston. No, not Papa John's. Like the not the chains, but like
The
the
local
local
ones.
shops, like the Ma and Pa, like
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
and just
okay.
like
The ones that are really cheap and really bad, but delicious.
there was a great app you can get for your phone called Slice, and
Oh,
So Slice is an app that
Vertical
lets
slice?
it lets like local pizzerias input their store information, and then you can browse them and order online like you would with like a Domino's or something like that. But you're supporting local, so it's a great way to just kind of like find places you wouldn't otherwise know about in your area. It's fucking cool. So I use that, and I'd find new stores and do cool shit. Be dope.
But how's the routine?
Dude, just fucking come over to Argentina. We have infinity pizza places, and they are all very decadent.
Is it cheap to live there? Can I sneak in easily? I doubt they'll let me in
I mean, you
legally.
can probably sneak in easily. Like,
probably not Buenos Aires, but I mean other places. Could
I'm
be
not
cheap,
picky.
right?
I'm
It's
gonna be
like
living in a van. You think I care?
Yeah. South
Probably
America's
gonna get
attached
killed, though.
to North America, so
I mean, it depends. If you have like an income in dollars, it's really cheap to live here, even like the rent.
Don't
So-
tempt me. Don't tempt me. I have no attachments. I can go wherever I want. I'm a free spirit by design.
No, but it's very likely that you will get robbed and die anyways. So maybe
Free
don't.
spirit.
Yeah, not
But
Free
not
spirit,
gonna
broken
keep that
back.
iPad
You know
very
how
long.
it is.
Yeah, lose
Yeah,
that
okay.
iPad
My daily
fast.
routine. I get up. I have a coffee. I usually just make instant coffee because it's cheap, and I can put stevia in there because I'm trying to do no carb. It's very difficult because everybody in this house doesn't give a shit. But I'll have my coffee, and then I will usually just like dick around for like an hour, just like to wake up out of my fucking haze of hating being alive in the mornings. Then I will start hopefully working, or that's like path A. That's like the good path. And then the bad path is like something will have come out that I want to watch and send me on a spiraling path of procrastination. Like if a new Beastars chapter comes out, forget it. Nothing's happening. I gotta read it,
Oh, I have to
then I
watch
gotta
that.
digest it, then I gotta read it again, then I gotta like sit on it for a while. Today's chapter fucking kicked ass.
Yeah, read to discussions about it, and
You know, I don't get into the fandoms. I've only ever
Okay.
done the MLP fandom. Never again. Once was enough. I don't need more fandom in my life.
do you think Beastars could have
Yeah,
that size of a
fandoms
fandom?
suck.
Do you think Beastars could have some cool fan art with Azumi next to Legosi, and you could
Ooh.
ride that
Ooh.
hype wave and get new followers and
She absolutely
trends
would
and
fit into that
attention?
aesthetic. Like I would draw her with.
Yes!
I would draw her with the panda. Fucking Gohim, I think his name is. He's fucking
Ooh.
cool. They got similar vibes going on. They both have giant white patches for eyes. It'd be cool.
They're,
It'd be-
And a similar marking on their face.
It's true. It's true. They do well
Yeah,
together.
it's meant to be.
So I haven't really modeled a buff guy yet. It'd be a good challenge. And a panda face. That's also a good challenge. Box modeling's hard. I don't recommend it, even though that's what I do. I ripped a Pokemon Sun and Moon model to learn how they did their anime faces. It's so simple. It's so janky, but it works. And I'm just like, my God, there's like a 7-sided vert on here. It's like, you don't do that ever. And they're just like, fuck it, triangles for days. We don't care. Game Freak, you're
Tom,
funny.
speaking of that, should I watch Beastars or should I read Beastars? Because I ran into this problem with Hoseki no Kuni, where I love the anime, but the manga is so boring because it doesn't have any color. And I couldn't get into it. But what should I do with Beastars?
I have read all of Hoseki no Kuni, and I've read all of Beastars as well as watching both the shows. I'm a huge fan of Studio Orange. Watching Hoseki no Kuni and Beastars is kind of what got me to try out the anime shader or the black and white shader that I just was working on earlier, because I'm just like, oh, this is so cool, it's so crisp, I want it. But Studio Orange is really good at just like composition. Like their shot composition and all their stuff is so good. Like all the great shots in Beastars are like their composition work and like don't directly come from the manga a lot of the time.
Thing. Everything they do is so pretty that then I look at the manga and I'm like, what is this shit, dude?
I will say I read all of Hoseki no Kuni and was kind of disappointed. Like the general aesthetic is really nice. It's kind of whimsical and like wispy, I guess might be a good word for it, if that makes any sense at all. But like the actual story
I get it.
crawled. Like it goes super fucking slow.
Yeah,
And
that's
like
that's the big problem because like The
even
Hoseki no
when
Kuni anime it's just so pretty that you can just sit there and like let
Yeah.
your brain die
It
because
kind of,
nothing is
like-
happening, but be like, hell yeah.
the good thing about the Hoseki no Kuni is that like because of like the color and like the high quality rendering and like the creative uses of like composition and camera work they do, it kind of makes up for the fact that there's not a lot going on because you kind of just get lost in the visual experience of it. Like you kind of
Yeah.
almost feel like it's kind of like a high, like a visual high almost. You're just kind of like
I could
chilling
just
out.
look at their hair forever with all the tiny colors and shit. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, and like the manga doesn't have that, and the plot that is there, even like the rising action happens. I won't spoil in case anyone actually cares, but like even when like things start changing, and like getting like it's not like super hype. Like there's no like spikes of intensity in Hoseki no Kuni. It's all
No,
very
it's-
slow and
it's-
methodical.
Yeah, it's very low energy.
Beastars on the other hand is much more dynamic, and I think it's a much better read. Like I'm still reading Beastars. Like once I got caught up to Hoseki no Kuni, I'm just like, I'm good. I'll check back on this in like a year or something and see if anything better's happened. But like I'm on the edge of my seat every week waiting for the next chapter of Beastars. It's
Yes,
always good.
That's what I keep hearing, and I really want to get into it. But
I would watch the show first just because it's easier to consume that way. And like, because like for me, I watched end of episode 2. I was like binging the whole manga right now, and then I did. And like 10 hours, just like done. I'm sold. So if the anime hooks you, like the manga doesn't disappoint because like the scope just keeps
Okay,
increasing
okay,
and more
okay.
things happen and people come in and then like you learn more about the world and it's just like, oh my god, there's like fish too. Like what the fuck? Like, it's pretty nice. It's pretty dope. It's sick.
Okay.
It's a good time. I recommend it for sure.
okay, we'll consume both of them. Then.
So how's the ratio between the procrastination days and the work days? How often do you fall? into
Here's
the
how
hole?
my work tends to pan out. It will take me a good amount of time to like rev up and get into something, but once I'm in a project, I'm on it pretty consistently. Like it took me like 5 or 6 days to like really start getting the momentum going on that animation, that Azumi animation that I posted like last week. But once I started doing it for like 2 weeks straight, it was just like every day, like going at it and making it happen. But once the project's over, all that momentum dies and I have to like build it back up again. So like literally right before the podcast started, I was like, I should really start on that next model I was thinking of doing. So I started working on a little face shape based on the Pokemon models because I wanted to experiment with that. So maybe in the next couple days I'll start actually working on something again. But it's like a
Tomorrow.
50-50 split.
Tomorrow.
Now I got to do it. Well, usually
Tomorrow
I
is my birthday. For my birthday, just work. That's my present.
Oh, that's your present.
Wait,
all right.
tomorro's your. Oh, thanks for
Yes.
letting me know one day in advance, Seika.
I thought
I-
about it earlier on
Yeah.
our server, dude.
She sure did.
Very discreetly made thing and said it for everyone.
But yeah.
But yeah, that's my present. Just make me proud, Tom. You can do
All
it.
right. I'll report back with all my progress,
Hell
and
yeah.
He will make you one proud.
he'll be proud of me.
One unit of proud.
Proud mama.
Yeah, exactly.
Proud mama.
But yeah, I have a bunch of projects I want to do. It's a matter of having the knowledge to do them. Because I talked about this on a bonus podcast, of which there are 50 of now. You can get it. Patreon.com/polystation2. But I was saying how like my brain thinks in animation, but my brain also doesn't know how to animate. So like I was writing a script for a comic, and I'm like, panels. How would I break this down into a panel? What would be the best part of this shot? And thinking in my brain to put as a panel. And when I said, fuck it, just think of it as an animation, it just all fucking comes out. I'm like, oh, it's perfect. It's brilliant. It's genius. I love it. It's like, but now you have to animate all that. And it's like, shit, I don't know how to do that.
Dying.
So,
Wait,
like,
wouldn't
that's,
that be easier to just like make it in storyboard form so you have like half of the work done, kind of?
well, I mean, I usually script, then board, then animate or draw a comic or whatever. Because like most of the way my workflow usually works is that everything starts with dialogue. Like I'll just like dialogue just comes out of me. So like I can sit here and just write dialogue, blah 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 blah. Like that's how the script was happening. I was just writing all the dialogue exchanges, and then I'd go
Yeah.
back and be like, what's happening while they're saying this, and then that would go in, and then it's like, well, there's an action scene here, so I'd slowly, methodically kind of figure out how the action scene would go. So I can't just start with storyboards because like it all leads from the dialogue. So I'd just be writing down the dialogue handwritten and not understanding half of what I'm writing because my handwriting is shit anyways. So I usually start with scripting. Yeah. So
Okay, that makes sense, actually.
it's not the most efficient way to work, but it's just, you know, it's the curse of having all this ambition and none of the skills to pull it off. Life is a series of workarounds.
With the limited animation I've been doing.
I respect you because you're always learning new shit, and the shit you do is usually really nice and cool, to me, at least.
I have this like thing where everything I have to do has to be of high quality. Like I'm sure everybody has that, right? But like there's lots of things that I'll just throw away because I'm like, this looks like a beginner did it. It's like, Tom, you're a beginner. I'm like, no.
Just post it in your Instagram
No,
story.
I
and it
understand
will
that because
disappear
that's
after
exactly
24
how I
hours.
feel. You just have to kill that little tiny part of your brain. Just stop giving
Yeah.
a fuck. Just
I mean,
post everything and
I'm
don't
like-
think about it.
I know it's stupid. It's like dumb because like, okay, like Gibb, for example, his work's not like a fucking Mona Lisa or anything, but I love it. I love Gibb's work. It is so good. And it's like, you know, like people probably think of your work that way. I'm just like, no, that can't be true. Don't lie to me.
Think of your work that way, dude.
So it's
Come on.
So it's just like I just gotta produce it, and like even if it's not perfect, because I'm thinking about this, like I could do like a little motion comic thing or a little couple page comic of this little scene that I wrote out. It's like it's going to be fully animated, it's going to be voice acted, there's going to be all this shit. I'm just like I'm overthinking it. It's never going to happen at this rate. So it's just, you know, it's about killing your darlings and just being like, it needs to exist. That's the goal.
That's exactly how I feel. I remember one time I watched this video of yours where you posted the process of modeling a character. It was this deer girl, I think, or like antelope girl.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the original drawing you made for her, and I was like, oh, he can draw. And it's really good. But because you just don't post any sketches of shit, you just had that one beautiful finished drawing, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like,
I also wipe all
you
my
can
drawings
understand
off
the
the face of the
frustration.
earth after like a year, and I just delete them. So like all my old drawings,
That's
they're
awful
all
because-
gone.
I didn't
watched
discover
you.
you that long ago. Maybe a couple years. I found you because of the PSP. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like, yeah, let's see what Tom used to work on. And everything you did on the internet is basically gone. And it's like, oh
okay.
no, I hear of all
I
this
heard you
cool
talk.
shit and I can't look at it. Why do you do that?
right? I heard you talk about Sorcerers Lost, and it sounded like the most interesting thing to me in the world. Just the idea of a motion comic.
Yeah, and I
just
can't even check
enchants
it
me
out,
so
dude.
much. And I'm so fucking pissed that I can't even look at it.
Sorcerer's Lost
like,
being gone isn't my fault. The website broke, and then,
Oh no.
yeah, I don't know what. Look, the thing is, like, there was a bunch of fonts and stuff being hosted through Dropbox, and then Dropbox changed their terms of
Right.
service and made it so you can't host things
Oh,
anymore, and it broke the
yeah.
entire website. And I was like, well, shit, it's dead,
Oh.
which
that
is a huge
fucking
bummer.
sucks, dude.
And
like,
I think one of my hard drives died that had all my old files on it too, so I lost like a lot of work that way as well.
Shit.
So, I mean, I probably have some backups of it somewhere. Like I can look through my drive and see if there's even anything here, but I don't know. There's not much that remains of that project, which is a
it's
shame.
so
Really
sad.
heartbreaking.
It's just like a motion comic it's something that I would love to make myself, and just thinking about Homestuck and later what you were trying to make, which I think was panels within a page. Some of them moved, some of them didn't, or something. And something like that just sounds enchanting to
It
me.
was
I
like-
would love to be able to put that together.
The site that I did, I mean, I remember Digi being like, "How did you fucking do this?" I'm just like, "I don't know, dude. It's fucking easy." But it was just like, I
how you
would
sound.
I would draw like each thing on its own layer. Like the characters would be on a layer, the foreground elements would be on a layer, the background would be on a layer. Then I put them all into a video editing program, like After Effects, and then I would just composite them moving around and stuff. And then I would also animate panel transitions, so like panels would fly into frame one after another in sequence, and you'd watch it like a video.
Exactly. That's what I want to make.
And then the cool thing was that like when I embedded them on the website, I went into the code and I hid the buttons, like the playback buttons, so it looks like just like a GIF. It would play like a GIF, but it would be a video file, so it would be way smaller than a GIF, because a GIF like would be like a billion megabytes.
Yes,
It takes forever to
yes,
load.
of course.
So, and it just was seamless. You just click through and you'd read a comic, and it would be pretty cool. I don't know if some of them still exist on my DeviantArt, which I think there's nothing.
I would just love to know how it works
I want to see.
to replicate it somehow. I'm fascinated by
I was
the
thinking
idea.
of doing another one with this Azumi script in 3D, which would allow a lot more possibilities. Why is my DeviantArt not private? Shut up.
Wait, hold on.
Wait.
Gotta go there right now.
I'm getting like a 502 error on my fucking DeviantArt page. That's
Oh no, it's gone too.
I didn't. Future me has done this apparently. It's just like, nope. Strange.
Maybe DeviantArt itself just saw it, and then they thought this sin must not be permitted.
I wouldn't
to
even put it
exist.
past myself to have deleted this and not remember it, but it's just deviantart.com, right? Like, that's the name of the web. They didn't change the name of the website. I haven't logged on in like 10 million years. Oh, wait, here we go. Now it's loading. I don't know what changed.
DeviantArt is way different nowadays.
It is. Oh, I deleted them all.
Oh no, Tom,
Sad.
why? Why are you like this?
So
I actually
sad.
don't even know why. Actually, I think it's because they were just preview files. They weren't the actual gift. Well, maybe it's on the Tumblr. I think there's still a Tumblr for it, right? Okay, we're digging deep. We're digging back into the archives right now. God, Tumblr. I haven't logged into that site in even longer than DeviantArt.
Live archaeology.
Yeah. Okay, here's one. Here's one that has like some examples. Where's the fucking short link? This theme is not the theme that I had on this before. Permalink. Here we go. All right. I'm doing it. Where should I dump this? Does it matter?
Show
Show
notes
notes links.
Oh, of course.
please.
The chat I'm already in. There.
Okay, now 10 minutes of silence of just us checking this out.
Live reaction.
No, I'm gonna check
Oh.
that later.
Yeah, these comic panels are moving.
Yeah, they're all. It's all
Whoa.
motion. They're all because like HitFilm, which is the program I was using. It had like 3D layers, so you could move images around in Z space. So there's some like cool
Ooh.
parallax stuff you could do with it. It was cool. Very labor intensive though, but like the actual like work was long but not hard. It's pretty
Whoa.
simple to
But
do.
it looks so nice. This is
Yeah.
really cool.
I remember like
cool.
I killed this project. So I'm like, man, these look like garbage. And like a year later, I came back to it. I'm like, this looks great. What was I thinking? I'm an idiot.
Yeah, agree.
I want
agree
to
on that
see
one.
an Asumi comic like this, please.
I have a script I'm working on literally right now, so
Oh,
I
hell
could
yeah,
I
dude.
could do it. I could
During this
start doing it.
sentence.
I could do it
Make-
for Seika's birthday, unironically.
Please,
Whoa.
please. Please animate my wife for my birthday, please.
All right,
Make
all right.
2020 the year where you do all
That's
the
kind of
cool
the
stuff
idea. I want to
on-
do it. I want to
online.
make real stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
content that people can resonate with, and
I can't
they
let
learn.
Ben and Gib hog all the comic glory. Like unironically,
Yeah.
one of my fucking like things to want to do this is like I want the PCP guys to think I'm cool. Do something cool. My
Hey,
shtick
that's-
right now is I'm homeless. I can't do that. I gotta have something cooler than that.
That's true.
Hey, that's
See?
funny because that's our shtick too.
No, it's not. Gotta rise above. Gotta rise above.
Yeah.
Ah,
And you, Tom, you can do it.
I'm confident. 3D's unlocked a lot of stuff. Like there was a lot of labor in that was really hard to do. But now in 3D, it's just like it like clicks with my brain so much better. Like you know, 'cause one of the memes of just like, oh, you have to suffer for your art, and I was literally suffering drawing, and I was just like, I guess this is just what creativity is. And then I
No,
started doing
that's so
3D. I'm
toxic,
like,
dude.
wait a minute. Like I think the moment that I realized that like, oh, I should have been doing 3D the whole time. I think I even made a tweet about it when it happened. It's like I was playing Tomb Raider Legend, and like I was looking at the grass, and I was like, I wonder if I could make that grass. And then I just started making grass. I'm like, I would never go out of my way to draw grass in my entire life. And I'm like fucking hype on my computer right now. I'm like, I'm gonna try and make some billboard grass. It's gonna be so fucking cool. I can't wait to make grass.
But drawing grass is so fun.
I've done it. I've cracked the code finally. And I made that. I made 2 different kinds of grass, and it was cool.
This is
To
badass.
be fair, making individual assets in the 3D space is more interesting than drawing mundane things.
It really
Just
is.
because you have, like, I'm thinking of this as well. Like drawing a screw very boring. 3D modeling a screw, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
When you're doing like product design stuff I've done. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
but-
More mundane things become interesting.
Okay. If you think so.
It's less about the creativity and more about the process, the craft, I guess. for
You're just
3D,
saying that
at least for me.
drawing a screw, but it sounds really fun to me, and I want to draw.
I agree. I'm a draw boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I
just-
love drawing. There's just certain things that I wouldn't find drawing as fun.
Yeah, like
as
with grass, I
trying to
love
make
to
a model.
draw grass. I gonna draw like all different little kinds of plants and like little animals in it and like little bushes and way they are like arranged, and it's cool. Grass is cool. But everyone has their like preferences how to do their things.
Yeah, I mean
You
that's
have
To
to
be
like
fair,
find your own
somebody will probably say
right one.
that about something I love to draw. Like, I love to draw floor patterns, for example. Like,
What?
getting them right is satisfying. Like, draw. You know, when you're drawing a street and you draw like the cobblestone on the street, or like the tiles on the street. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's fun, and some people might find that monotonous.
I
and
find it
boring.
interesting when they are like cracked and destroyed. That's cool.
my favorite thing was just line art. I liked doing like really clean, crisp lines when they came out perfect. You're just like, I know a lot of people hate the line art part, but like, I don't know. I think that's something why I really like 3D as well, because you can just like push points and like get everything perfect, and you're just like, yes,
Yeah.
it's perfect from every angle.
I'm the opposite. I'm very into
Oh.
rendering details and stuff and just shading and cool shit like that.
When I
I
found
like
out that like
color.
3D, it's like it does the shading for you. I'm like,
Yeah.
be
yeah,
still, my beating heart.
See,
It's like if you want to light things, you can like drag a light around instead of having to like understand shape. I'm like, now you're speaking my language.
But you have to understand shape to make a shape.
Yeah, I mean it's a different way of thinking, but it's just
Yeah.
like instead of
Yeah.
like having to like, okay, this is how light would reflect off something at this angle. It's like just put the fucking light there. It's like, yeah.
Ooh, but I
that's what I'm
love that
about.
shit. I love figuring it out. It's fun.
What I like about non-photo 3D is that you can half-ass things and it's fine. Like in a bunch of that, like the way, because there's this great fucking video on GDC, which is a YouTube channel. The guy who's like the lead art director for Guilty Gear XR, just like, this is how we did it,
Yes.
and I'm just like,
yes.
I'm in, let's do it. So I watched that like 3 times, and he's just talking about, oh yeah, so like for like you know, like all the instant kills and stuff, like we just like stretch the bodies out and they go crazy, and it's like it's frame by frame, so you can't tell, and it just looks like it would because like perspective is broken in anime all the time.
I've seen that video.
And so like in the Azumi animation, like half the animation, her arm's like 4 times its normal size because it's foreshortened and stuff, and her head gets bigger and smaller between frames, and it's just like dynamism, and it's just like, this is great, this is 10 out of 10. Then like the
Yeah,
bloody bunny
yeah.
corpse like moves to a different location in each cut because it just frames the shot better, and it's just like nobody cares. It's all aesthetic, it's fine, and it's just like yes, I love it.
I
Speaking
don't remember
of
if I
that,
saw that video or my boyfriend told me about it.
You
No, I'm
should
very
definitely
curious.
Same thing.
should watch it. It's fun. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
probably.
into 3D, even if you're not though, it's just like interesting
I'm,
to see like
I'm
how they
very
fake it.
into the look of Guilty Gear in general. It's super
There was,
pretty, so
um,
I'm in.
There's a funny video, like they posted it for memes, but it's also like educational if you're like not a normal person and you're into art. There's an option in Dragon Ball Fighters to turn off the dynamic camera angles for the supers, so you just see Gohan's arm get like 5 million times bigger from a static side view,
that's
and it looks
Amazing.
goofy, but it's just like, so this is how they did it. You're like, it's kind of interesting, even though like he's turned into like this terrifying monster. It's cool.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up later.
I don't know,
Tom,
man. 3D
you've
is magical.
seen
I love it.
the new character for the new Guilty
I think
Gear,
it's
right?
interesting that the marketing side of your art kind of died with the Market How Do podcast. Like it.
Oh,
yeah,
we're-
What's
It's gonna
what's
get
going on with
revived.
that?
The reason it
What?
died is because
Oh,
my
hell
back
yeah.
my back died, you know, so like as soon as that was over, it's like, well, I can't really do shit. I was only on the PCP every now and then.
Oh, I disconnected. Oh,
So
I'm back.
Hello.
hello.
it was,
We're talking
I wanted to ask.
We're talking Market How Do.
Hold on, Tom's going on.
Oh,
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 I was gonna mention Guilty Gear again for one last thing.
go for it. That's more interesting.
I'm
I'm a fan. Can you tell?
I just wanted to ask if you've seen Potemkin's animation in the for the new game, because he has just some incredible ones. Like Heavenly Potemkin Buster looks
Dude.
unbelievable.
everything for Guilty Gear Strive looks so fucking insane. Like, oh,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
they're like dialing everything up to 11, and like, cause like what was the fucking like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus? Like that's the game they were working on before, right? I think that's what it's called. It's like based on
Yes,
like a
it
phone
is.
game or some crap. I'm like, oh, your talent's wasted on this Drek, but I guess you got to pay the bills too.
Well, it looks beautiful.
It looks,
still.
it's gorgeous, but I'm just like, I don't care about whatever the fuck this is. I want more Guilty Gear. Don't fucking Blaze Blue me again. Because I was when
Blaze blue balls.
when Fighters came out, I was so terrified. I was like on record saying like, I hope they don't just become like the anime, like the go-to guys, like make the current anime a fighting game. And then they started doing that, and I was like, oh no, is it happening?
Yeah, weren't they already also doing like the Kill la Kill thing that I don't really
Yeah.
like?
Right.
Well,
Like-
not exactly.
Kill la Kill,
They were-
then they did Grand Blue, then they're doing Dragon Ball Fighters, and I'm like, oh no, they're doing it.
Don't forget the Blaze Blue team did the Persona fighting games.
Right, so it's just
they
like
kinda
they're
did spin-offs
becoming,
as well.
and then like Cross Tag Battle comes out, which is like fucking Ruby and shit. I was like, they're gone.
But that's a good game though.
And then Strive comes out, and I'm just like, oh thank God, oh God, it's not dead. And it just looked great, and it took
yeah.
all that fucking good tech, and they brought it up, and it's like an Unreal Engine 4 now, and like the choreography looks even crazier, and oh man, I'm all about it. I'm ready. I'm hyped. I'm gonna study the shit out of it and absorb it all into my brain. I hope they do another GDC talk. That'll be great.
Well, I was curious about that specifically. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been tempted to get into sculpting and stuff to do like higher detail things like Guilty Gear, but low poly, it's just so much easier to like. I'm just one guy. Like I can't like take like 2 weeks to fucking sculpt something with all the little minute details and then retopologize it and optimize it and do that with like all the characters.
You can do
Too
that
much.
later when you have a team. In a few
I want a
years.
team so bad because I have Azumi started as a game character, and there's a full 3D game I have plotted, written, conceptualized, all the gameplay mechanics. I have everything for it. And when I get that team, I'm going to make the best fucking video game ever made by a human, and we'll become rich. It's going to happen.
Sick.
It will be sick. I'm going to be that guy who's going to go on like the GameSpot forums, be like, I have an idea for a game. And they're like, oh, you're just an ideas guy. Then I'm going to throw like 10 years worth of material at them, like, want to make a game now? And they're like, oh my God, he's real.
He's real.
So when's the Pope gonna get Asumi?
I don't know, whenever we hang out. When we play Pokemon Go together to get that
When's
Mr.
Toby
Mime.
Fox gonna? When's Toby Fox gonna meet Tommy Raccoon?
Soon? I'd love to hang out with Toby Fox. He seems like a character. There's like some like video of him before Undertale blew up where he's just like hiding behind a couch with a little hand puppet of his little dog character doing an interview, and it's hilarious.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
That's cute.
yeah,
No,
he's just as bizarre as you'd expect him to be.
the reason why I brought up Market How Do is that that was the first time I talked to you a year ago in one of your SUM episodes. Where-
Yeah, we had this whole thing where we were just taking people into calls and just doing like advice and stuff, and it was fucking sick.
Yeah, I waited for like 3 hours because everyone was like in front of me in the
Yeah, it
row.
was not the most efficient system, but you know.
And I also didn't have a mic, so I was just on my phone with shitty Wi-Fi, and I was
mean-
cutting out all the time.
You work
that's-
with what you got.
Yeah, but it worked, and you guys gave me some advice, like the thing that I draw like characters from followers, and that brought me a bunch of followers. Like just make that
Yeah, I
announcement.
mean, we still want to keep doing the podcast. Obviously, I had my back injury. Matt had some he moved, then he had some personal shit going on. So we do plan on getting it started up again, because we hung out for New Year's. It was a good time. And we were talking about it. It's we
nice.
should get that rolling again. So
I'm
it
looking
will
forward
happen.
to that.
It will revive.
I like
Max
the show.
Revive, Hard Market How Do. It was a good show. I liked it a lot. It was like super
Yeah.
low key, but it was good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Uh,
I also kind of wanted to be on it, but I was still in my high anxiety over my accent phase.
I mean, same.
Dude, accents are cool, unironically.
And
American
then
accents.
They're
this is
cool
a
until
podcast for
nobody
you.
can understand you and you freak out.
I don't know. I mean, I've listened to like 4 episodes of this podcast now before I came on. I had no trouble understanding any of you guys. So.
Oh.
I'm wondering, because you guys made this show where you could give advice. What is your advice to the Sketchy People podcast after listening to a few episodes?
Good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. Put me on the spot. It's all right. I'm about it.
Fix us, Tom. Fix us.
I mean, I haven't like looked at like your Twitter or anything like what you're doing for social and stuff. I mean, do you want? I'm assuming you just want to like grow the listenership of the podcast in general. Like that would be the goal here.
Yeah.
I would just probably make an Instagram if you don't already. And I would just start doing like the $1.80 method. I would just like go into art tags and I would start leaving comments talking about people's art and just like to expand the reach organically like that.
So
same thing on Twitter. I mean, the idea is that like if you have a podcast account and you can post on Instagram like 1-minute clips of the podcast, like good moments where you're talking about things. Or you can do like dynamic typography videos. So like even if they're just scrolling, like the words are coming up as you're talking about it. I know how to make that. And then those can be the videos. I know how to make that. Yeah.
Ooh.
And then that can be the content. So like people, if you're commenting like really well, just like really thoughtful, engaging like advice or just like compliments about artwork on like popular posts, people will see it. And then you can, name your account Sketchy People Podcast. Like a podcast, they'll click on it, they can see a bunch of clips, and then in your link, you can have a link to the actual episodes on Spotify or whatever.
I mean, Sketchy People Podcast, that name is like, it's already says that it's kind of content that can be consumed. It's not just some name of some user. We were like...
That's really smart, Tom. I like that a lot.
We were thinking about getting Instagram really early on, I think, but we just didn't know what to put on it. But yeah, that could be a thing.
I feel like now that we have some content, it's probably a bit easier. Maybe.
I mean, Alex has like a whole collection of funny clips.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, I mean, you have tons of... I mean, that's like... There's this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, who like we talked about on Market How To a lot. And his like idea is like he had a whole like slide deck he put out a couple months ago. It's like how to make 100 pieces of content a day, because that's what he does. He makes 100 pieces of content a day. And it's all about just like... appropriating like all your content and splitting it up and repackaging it and like putting it on different platforms. And it's just like, but like Gary's the guy, he's like a fucking multimillionaire. So he like hired somebody to just follow him around with a camera all day and record his entire day. And then they just have a bunch of video editors, split it up and put it into content. And just like, yeah, it's easy to do 100 pieces of content when you're like rich, and it's like, and your content is talking, our content as artists is like slaving for hours over a hot Wacom to fucking create something. So it's just like and that's kind of why me and Matt started Market How To. It's like, how can we take this general marketing advice and try and find ways to adapt it into content like this? And like one of the things I was talking to Matt a little while ago, and we wanted to talk about another episode if we ever get it restarted, is like, is identifying as an artist wrong? Right? Because this is something I was thinking of just like me and Matt are operating in the headspace, because we talk about marketing and stuff all the time, of just like, because we're artists, we think about our platforms as galleries, right? As places to put our artwork. And because of that, we filter out everything else. But like, obviously the internet as a consumption platform is much more about like ideas, right? Like personalities thrive online. So like, what if instead of being an artist, you're just a person that happens to do art as one of your many pieces of content, and you started thinking of yourself more as a personal brand, and just like commenting on things, talking about things, like letting your tweets or your whatever be just as legitimate content in your mind, in your headspace, as your finished pieces. And that way social becomes much less of like this like terrible grind of having to bust out like 5 pieces of artwork every week. And it's just like, I'm just a person, I'm me, part of me just happens to be an artist. And like that was a discussion we were kind of like going back and forth on, trying to figure out what the good or bad things of that are. So I don't know.
I think a lot of us, or maybe all of us, are kind of guilty of that, of just putting out artwork on the internet, and this podcast, I guess.
I mean, because that's you put if like you put a gun to my head and said you can do one thing for the rest of your life, it's like I'm just gonna sit in a room and create things until I die. Because like in an ideal world that would work, you know. Like if someone came up to me and said, I will give you $50,000 a year. The only stipulation is you have to like stay in this room and just work and do nothing but work. I'd be like, okay,
I'll take it.
Dream.
That's
Yes,
all I want,
please.
right? That's our problem, right? Because that doesn't work.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't.
So like you have to like be social and like be personable and like be real.
And bathe.
You know, because like nobody cares, nobody understands. It's like, oh, it took you fucking like 70 hours to make that piece. I don't care. It takes me 70 milliseconds to see it. Fuck off. There's a million things. I don't give a shit. You know, like artists need to stop feeling bad for themselves. I have like this whole war against like art culture. You know, it drives me nuts of people being like, oh, it's so hard. It's like, yeah, it is hard, but like you signed up for this, dude. Like we're all in the fucking trenches together of like we're gonna have this crazy fucking idea and we're gonna like be audacious enough to think our imaginations are worth paying attention to. It's a huge ask right off the bat.
Thousands and thousands out there who are trying to do something.
Right, so it's just like by just even like throwing your hat into the ring, like you're making a bold statement anyways, and you're asking so much of people, you know, and it just the entitlement from a lot of this is like I'm so victimized, but simultaneously I'm so much better than a normal person. It's like what the general community tends to exude
that always pisses me off so much.
And it's just like, you know, because it's like one of the things I talked about in one of my podcasts was just like when Elon Musk retweeted that picture of 2B uncredited and everyone reamed him for like a week.
Credit the
it's
artist.
It's like, yeah, credit the artist. I get that. You should, and but at the same
I feel like
time,
they went way harder.
This
than
artist just got exposed to an audience of like 4 million people, you know, and it's like, if you said to me, "Hey Tom, Azumi's pretty cool," you have the option of either having Elon Musk retweet it uncredited or Elon Musk not retweeting it. I'd be like, do it. Here's the file. Take it. Do whatever you want with it. I don't fucking care. Even if 1/100th% does the reverse Google image search, that's like 40,000 people seeing my account. Like, yes, give me it. Like, come on.
I mean, yeah. But you know,
Elon was
kind
of weird about it afterwards. He was like the whole thing. You should never credit anyone. Yeah.
And it's like everyone was so fucking bitchy about that. But the artist got way more exposure than they ever would have if he had just done it credited. Everyone would be like, oh, it was a 2B poster, whatever. But then everyone had like, I need to virtue signal and pretend that I actually care about this and I'm not just trying to like look good in front of my friends. This artist deserved better, blah, blah, blah. But like everyone was like bitching and pissing and moaning about Elon Musk. None of them would like dropped their link anywhere. I never saw anyone linking the actual artist except for like maybe one person. Like the artists themselves could have made a fucking like leverage the attention. They could have replied to that tweet and it would have been like one of the top things, just like, oh, this is my art, thanks Elon.
Not being bitchy about it,
Ta-da!
just being friendly. Thanks for showing my art here. Here's the link to my socials.
Not everything needs to be fucking oppression, you know. It's just like
no, I agree.
I understand the perspective of being like, please, like, obviously crediting is better than not crediting, but like when something comes uncredited, and this is just like one small hill and I'm fucking mountain range of issues I have with other artists, is that it's an opportunity. You can make it as good or as bad as you want to, you know. God, there's like something else I want to talk about, and I forget. I probably should stop getting my grave at this point. I'm gonna go on an artist podcast and shit on artists. What a great idea!
It's okay. You're saying things that are true. Going back to the marketing thing, though, it's really interesting what you were talking about, making social media not just a dumping ground for your art, because I've been thinking about that somewhat lately. They always tell you in marketing classes that a proper brand really exposes to people as to why they exist and why they're doing their things, and they really want to involve people into that process. And you know, I was thinking that maybe for myself, I should just tweet daily something dumb, maybe a dumb pun that goes through my head, or just some comment on something that I liked. Maybe people would enjoy that. Maybe people wouldn't be angry that I'm not just posting art or retweeting art.
Sometimes I think our many Discord groups kind of absorb all of that content we could put in tweets.
Really, honestly, yeah. I just talk to people here, and I don't talk to anybody else on my socials. But maybe I should. Maybe I should just sell my personality on there. Because that's how you build a proper brand. That's how you want people to identify your brand as a person that they can relate to, as a set of ideals that they can follow if they agree with.
When
Yeah,
I hear you guys talk, and all I can think about is, damn, I should have posted a swimsuit selfie like last weekend when I was in a pool party.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Dude, pool party Seika.
I mean,
Yeah.
you get those bonus points, right? Like, you know, being a girl, you get certain buffs and certain debuffs when it comes to the internet, you know.
I mean, yeah.
We were
but-
talking about that.
I mean, I know about it. That's why I use my face as an avatar everywhere, because I know it works and it pains me deeply. But yeah.
Well, you know, some
That's why I have my drawing, your drawing of my face as my avatar Seika, because
Hell yeah.
it's both accurate and flattering.
Oh.
So, do we have any more questions?
What's more than one?
Wait, what?
Seika, go.
No,
Seika,
we
go-
have
Seika.
other questions first.
No, Seika, do it. Seika, pull it. Pull the
Okay,
trigger.
Tom. Unrelated, but how's the love life going?
What's up?
I was setting you up for that one.
How's what going?
The
didn't-
love life.
Oh, love life?
Yeah, how's your love life? How's your sex life?
Oh, I'm kind of not. I don't have one, I guess. I mean, I've been like crippled for a year, so I mean, I'd like to
That's a
come
good
on here and be
excuse.
like, I'd like to be like the fucking cool guy, just like, yeah, I'm just doing my work. I don't give a shit. I'm like a hopeless.
Stephen Hawking had a wife, you know.
Yeah.
Dated
I mean,
a
I'm just
nurse.
like a fucking hopeless romantic though. Like you put a good romance anime in front of me, and I fucking like lose it. Like I'm a fucking sap.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, fucking Toradora. Don't even get me started. Show's so fucking good. Oh my god.
Ooh, Toradora in specific, no, but I relate to the romance thing.
Toradora makes me kind of mad because the romance in it is very toxic. Everybody's really bad to each other, and then they still fall in love, and I don't know. It's kind of
Just
warped.
like real life, dude.
Exactly. Chunibyo,
But
I love
they don't
Chunibyo.
frame it
Chunibyo's
that
fucking
way.
great.
They don't-
That's like a slow burn show. That's good. I don't know. I dig that stuff. I like.
Yeah.
I'm more
I like
into,
feelings.
Weird romance comedy manga. Like fucking Horimiya used to be fucking great. Until they
read
got
that.
together and then I just lost interest, kind of.
That's always tough if you don't.
But it
end-
was it's so good. They will they won't they was so nice, so good. It was very
good
slice of life though.
Slife of Lacey.
But Tom, you're not crippled anymore, so
correct.
what's the plan?
Now he's crippled by depression.
Oh no.
That's always been there. That's a constant battle. I don't know how to meet people. It's very confusing.
Dude, same.
Like,
Very confusing.
dude, it is. Like you have to understand where I live right now is like the middle of nowhere. Like I've tried the Tinder, I've tried the Hinge, I've tried the Bumble. It's all the same like two women ever. It's just
no.
like it's like here's my selfie at the club, here's my selfie at the Patriots game, and here's my dog or my girlfriend's or both. And it's just like no, I'm not into that.
Living in the middle of nowhere sounds like a nightmare for meeting people.
Dude, it takes 45 minutes to get to Taco Bell from where I am.
Oh
Ugh,
no.
what
I
would
would
you-
never.
Why
Why would you want to take 10 minutes to go to Taco
Yeah.
I
Bell?
mean, that's why I live.
You only go to
in
Taco Bell
Buenos
if it's like
Aires.
right in front of you.
It's just a big ass city and everything is like you can find a million things to do in like 1 second. It's great.
Same. I adore cities.
Cities are cool. They're just
Yeah.
expensive, which
But
prevents me
also
from going
expensive
there.
to live in.
Well, they're
Yeah.
expensive because they're cool.
Well,
I
that's
think.
exactly. I mean, I understand the causal link between these two factors. Yet one does cause some problems for me.
You have studied the if-then dynamics of them. yes.
Indeed. If cool, then increase price. You know, increase cost of living by plus equals 1. I don't fucking know.
Nice.
The answer is like you live in the middle of nowhere, but you can live in the middle of everywhere when we start the caravan.
Exactly.
No.
There
You
we
can,
go.
you can live in the middle of everywhere.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, why don't you come back to my place? Where is your place? Wherever it needs to be.
Okay, Noodle and Tom, they build a caravan and they go
Wherever I can
bait
park.
hunting.
I parked around the
Operation
corner.
Bait Hunt.
I mean, that's like real talk. One of the big things that keeps me from moving into a van. Like, that's like just like forever alone, like for real. Like, I might as well just
Yeah.
tape that fucking drawing over my face because that would be me for the rest of my
What
life.
do you mean the van has just to be big enough?
I don't
I
know.
will scare
dude.
every
It's a
girl.
hard sell.
The van is the best way to meet people. You can go anywhere
Meeting
and
people.
have sex.
Meeting people, yes. Just having them stick around, that's the difficult part.
Or even wanting to stick around with them in the first
Exactly. You know, like there's definitely some fucking there's some basic expectations people have of other human beings that you kind of have to clear that
place.
bar.
You're not up to that shit.
And I'm not, you know, being in a van, not really on that short list, you know? I mean, I would love to meet somebody, of course. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, it'd be great. But, I don't know. I've always felt like I'm not good enough yet. Like, it's one of those
sad.
things where it's just like, if you don't like yourself, like, you're going to have problems. And that's my thing, right? Like,
Big,
I
big
think
sad.
from some weight, I should get more fit. I need to like have more prolific artwork. Like these are all these things that will equalize who I am versus who I see myself as ideally, and I want to like raise the bar there. And so, like,
I totally
because I'm not
understand that
there
feeling,
yet,
but there
there's
will
always that feeling of
probably
just
be
like,
somebody
oh,
that
I'm not
likes
really
you
good enough to be
this
in a
way.
community.
Yeah, the
They're
trick
so
is-
much cooler
because
than me.
I feel
Oh,
the same,
cannot-
but the
shouldn't go
trick
out
is
and meet
just-
people yet because like who would want to hang out with me? I'm not cool enough yet. And it's just like, you know, it's like some self-sabotage, but also it's like motivation to like get better, to like equalize those standards. So like I could go out into the world and not like keep my head held high and be like, yeah, I'm comfortable with who I am for the first time in like 30 years, you know? So I don't know. Like that's like toxic on the one hand, but on the other hand, like it is self-improvement. So is it really that bad? I don't know. This is why I need a therapist, I guess.
It's good as long as okay. It's good to not obsess over it, but it is good to also keep it in the back of your mind as a motivator, like you said. But still, if you're only thinking about getting better, you're never actually
No, did my headphones die?
getting.
Or did the call
Oh,
die?
no.
I can't tell.
No,
No.
it
Oh,
just
no.
cut out.
Oh,
No,
I
you
can't
can
hear
still
anybody.
hear
They
you,
must have
Lemon.
died.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Shit.
sketch with us.
I
we
will be
never
back.
did
I'll
that.
get other headphones. These ones they literally just died.
Oh no.
Okay, we can wait.
While this intermission's happening.
Sketch with us in the meantime.
Yeah. Sketch with us, Azumi.
Sketch with us.
Or
Azumi.
or any
Yes.
Tom-related stuff, because we just found out about his motion comic. What?
Yes, but please Asumi because she's my wife. Please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody's your wife, Seika.
Just one.
Yes.
Or your daughter, or
There's
son,
nothing wrong.
or both.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I want the harem of everyone's female Aussies. Thank you.
Guys,
That's all I care about.
okay.
I'm gonna have
Last
to make a
episode, I
sexy
just
one.
listened to the last episode, and when the topic of Sketch with Us came out, oh no, we forgot Sketch with Us to mention it in the start of the episode, and we forgot to mention the Discord in the start of the episode. I said,
No, we are doing it again.
let's do like a little advertisement voice message, and everyone was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we should totally do that, and we didn't do it.
Well, I forgot.
Everyone forgot.
Everyone forgot. Yeah.
We're gonna do it for this episode. We're gonna have like a little voice clip in the beginning of the episode of one of us saying, "Hey, we have Sketch with Us, and we have this Discord."
Cut it out. Cut it all out. I wasn't gone. I promise. Cut it all out.
Okay. Lemon
Press
was
after my
saying?
headset.
Are you back?
What was it?
What were you saying?
Oh, right. TLDR, it's really good to keep those things in the back of your mind to try to better yourself, but you have to understand that people's expectations of who you are or of you are usually lower than your expectations of yourself. And it's easy to get muddled into trying to be better and then expecting everybody to expect too much of you, even though people are usually okay with the level of good that you are.
Yeah, I mean, like
But what
it's
I'm
like
trying to
it's
say-
like the same thing as your art, right? Like it's the same thing as you see of your art. It's like
Yeah.
nobody gives a shit. Like it's like nobody knows what it was supposed to be. Nobody has those expectations but you. Like your life is just another piece of your artwork, and it's a work in progress. It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah, basically don't get too comfy, but please try to get out there because people will be more comfortable with you than you are with yourself.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree with that.
ladies, if you're listening, or guys, though I will say my window for guys is much smaller because I'm like 80% straight, 20% gay. But hit me up, Lamau. This is how flirting.
He is pretty cute.
This is how
honestly.
flirting works in 2020. Podcasts. That's the way it's all done.
Yep. The only way we communicate as humans anymore.
My last 2 relationships are all through the internet, or
Aw.
facilitated.
Oh no.
Well, okay.
Well,
I mean,
facilitated.
Facil-
okay.
I say
they
that, but also
started
I
on
met
the internet.
most of my partners on the internet too. I mean, but to be fair, the internet is where all the cool people are anyway.
It's true. See, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I've always thought. It's like, man, who would like my ideal like partner be? And it's like, they'll be inside playing video games and making art all day, like I am.
Yeah.
Hence,
Oh
I will
no, you
never
guys
meet
will
them.
never
No.
meet each other.
Exactly. See,
I kind of like ambitious people that would be exploring a city, you know?
Well,
Or
good for
stuff.
you. You just have to
Okay.
drive your van into their heart.
ooh,
Hmm.
ooh.
That's I've heard that song.
I need a van first. They're $40,000.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Quickly.
40,000.
To get-
Go
to
find
get-
me Tom's van.
That's big.
And that's just the van. You'd have to renovate it too. Gosh.
I know the renovations
Oh,
wouldn't be like,
gosh.
as bad, but they would still be pretty bad.
Yeah, but baseline 40.
That's
you
like
can't even live in it.
That's
at
like
that point.
3 cars.
Dude, vans and trucks are stupid expensive.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, they are.
It's ridiculous.
I also live in the middle of nowhere and know that you have to have them to live out here to do anything.
What a nightmare
Like a car,
America is.
not a car, like a big truck. Why would you need a big truck?
To move anything to go anywhere. At least here. I live in the desert.
The struggle.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Go fund me Tom's pussy wagon. Hell yeah, it's easy. Yeah, hell yeah.
Go for it. Start it. I'll retweet it.
You'll retweet your GoFundMe.
Yeah, fuck it.
I started, but it will be linked to my PayPal and it will just be a scam.
It's perfect.
Damn.
I think you only asked like half of the questions yet. Tom, dogs or cats?
Dogs or cats? I like dogs more, but I like keeping dogs at a distance because I'm so like lazy. I could never own a dog. It's too much commitment. My family's had cats
makes
my whole
sense.
life, so I know.
This guy wants a girlfriend, everybody.
Shut the fuck up. I can communicate to a woman, okay? We can have a conversation.
Dogs can talk.
No.
Swear, Mom.
Dogs can talk.
Dogs are a lot. I mean, I could, like, if I was, if someone I was living with had a dog, it's fine. You know, I've lived with people who own dogs. You know, like some of my exes have dogs. It's fine. I get along with them fine. I can do the work fine. It's just left to my own devices. Every minute I'm picking up dog shit is a minute I'm not drawing, doing 3D, or wishing I was doing
But
those
dude,
things.
there's dogs you can litter train. It's fine.
Yeah, but that takes work too. You know.
I mean, it's. I want to invest no work whatsoever on my pets.
Yeah, that's what
Life
cats.
takes
That's
work,
literally what a
Tom.
cat
Exactly.
is.
Just get a fish,
Exactly.
A cat is just like it sits there and it judges you. That's it. That's all you have to deal with. You just have to deal with them being a bigger asshole than you are, and there's no way to retaliate. That's the
Like,
worst part about
cats-
cats.
You know
Cats
what's, you know what's
being an
funny?
asshole is
You know
a
what's so
meme.
funny? Maids just tried to advocate that they weren't assholes in the
Yeah,
last
they aren't.
episode.
I mean, I
Just
agree with
depends.
Mage. They are not assholes.
No,
Not
they're
if you-
assholes, but I
not
love
if you
them.
give them attention.
Some
Hello.
cats can be nice, but the cat we have right now in this house is a monster.
Oh, no.
Not even a monster. It's just one quote that I found on the internet that totally sums up cats versus dogs is that dogs are like, oh my god, they're feeding me and they're giving me water and they're giving me shelter. They must be God.
seen that quote.
And then cats are like, they're feeding me, they're giving me food and water and giving me shelter. I must be God. That's the difference.
I mean, the main difference why I don't like dogs so much is that they are just so aggressive and they seem to hate me. Like, I walk over the street and there's like people with dogs walking, and the dogs are always like biting after my legs and
They're
barking
just
and-
stoked. They're always
But never
firing on all
That's what-
cylinders.
They're
Because you don't
always
have a
really
soul,
happy,
probably.
just like me.
and a cat is like cat just comes to me and it's me cuddle it and it's good. Cats are just good.
But
Cats are just a
but
hands-off
don't you want
pet.
somebody that's happy and excited?
No, the dogs aren't excited. They are angry. And
No, they're not.
excited.
Dogs are just pets on hard mode, and cats are pets on easy mode. You know, dogs are higher risk, higher reward. Cats, they're just like whatever. They just do what they do. But like, if you can put in the time to raise a dog properly, like he's your best friend. Literally, that's why they're called that.
Yeah.
A cat's
But
just
if you
like
put that same amount of time on raising a cat, you can make it like an even stronger bond, and it's great and amazing.
cats are like agreeable roommates at best.
At best. That's pretty.
Disagree.
That's a great way to put it.
No.
I mean, I disagree,
No,
but
Lemon.
sure.
I mean,
They're more independent for
guess-
sure. That's the pro part.
I guess if it's a roommate that likes to cuddle.
Yeah. That's more than most
Yeah.
roommates do.
I have nothing against cats. I have against cats that are assholes, but I have things against dogs that are assholes, people that are assholes. I just have a thing against assholes. That's what I think most of us do.
Perfect
Yeah.
middle ground.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
get a turtle. Turtles are good.
But you can't train a turtle.
What do you mean?
You
Yeah,
could train
a
it to be
turtle.
a football.
No.
I made a snail race with my turtle once, and she won against all the snails, and she even got some to eat.
She ate the snails?
I mean, I gave her some of the snails. She liked them.
Speaking of pets, Tom. Hello?
Yeah.
Tom?
No.
What's up?
You're good. Just
Okay.
start.
Sorry.
I was waiting for you to continue.
Tom, what kind of kaiju would you be?
What kind of kaiju?
What
Yeah,
would you
what
be? It doesn't have
kaiju?
to be a pre-existing one, but it could be.
I would be a mecha kaiju, like a mecha Godzilla.
Yes.
Because I
Sorry,
want to
got
be a
excited.
robot. I'd want to be like Kiru from the Millennium Mechagodzilla, where it's built on top of the bones of the original Godzilla, and those bones somehow still have sentience and it comes to life.
It's
fucking sick.
I love that shit.
Dude, it's so good.
I haven't seen it, but I'm saying I
If
love
you went
the concept.
transhuman, could you not just go into mecha at some point?
I
Just
hope
become
so.
a kaiju?
I'm playing the long game, dude. I just need to stay alive long enough for them to beat death. That's what I'm waiting for.
The
Put me in a
dream. I just
robot
want
body.
robot hands, so my wrist doesn't hurt anymore.
Dude, just like Alma from Valhalla, the cutest. Never mind.
It's a Luigi game.
Well, if you get robot hands, can they have like installed stabilizers in your fingers?
Yeah,
That would be
absolutely.
sick.
Probably.
Yeah.
Dude, you probably at that point, if you have like a robot brain, you can just draw like a printer, just like just run your pen back
But
and
that
forth
will make
against a
it
tablet.
boring.
Yeah, but think about how more productive you'll be.
Yeah.
Huh.
But the rise of productivity would lower the price of your art.
But you can make more a lot faster, so you could probably still come out.
Maybe
on top
that's
at
the
end.
time where I will
The thing is
finally
that
make a
like
comic
everyone can
price.
do it at that point.
Then
Yeah.
ideas become paramount, because if everybody can make flashy Hollywood explosions, no one cares anymore.
exactly.
Then writing and like ideas.
Oh, that's
is the
really
only thing that
interesting.
matters.
Everybody's an amazing artist, but because of how much amazing art there is, just nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, so you'll have to
Or
have
the
really
best-
good
Imagine
conceptual
all
ideas.
the infinite sea of trash content you will have to look through to get like one
It's
good
called
thing.
YouTube. We
I was
already
gonna say, I don't have to imagine
know.
that. It already exists. We're there.
It's terrifying.
we live on the internet already.
Think of how many Jake Pauls there will be once we all go transhuman.
I know. Please no.
Dude, I'm ready. Okay, this is what's going to happen when we have transhumanism. First-person vlogging is going to blow up because your eyes will just be able to record everything you see, and you can just
yeah.
upload it directly to YouTube.
Oh,
Everyone will do it.
24/7 live streams.
Yeah, 24/7
Just from
live
your
streams,
eyes.
first-person
That
vlogs.
sounds really cool, actually.
It'll be cool
No, that
for like a
sounds
week,
terrifying.
and then it'll just be like everyone will do it, and you'll be like, oh god.
Imagine
You know?
you're live streaming your own life, but in your eyesight you have like 20 different screens from other live streams from other people at the same time, so that you're living like 21 lives at the same time, experiencing
Yeah.
through all the live streams. Sick.
Please no.
Please.
No.
One life's enough for me to deal with. Are you kidding me?
I just want to try it out. don't know if you want to go to the museum or do art or go get food. Just do all of them through live streams.
At that point, you just have the coolest experiences and or ideas just win out. I'd hope.
I think transhumanism will be great. I think we'll have some growing pains, but it'll be dope. I'm about it. I'm signing up. I can't wait to be outdated for real. You know, I was like, oh, you're running a fucking 1.7 nano machine? God, where are they going to get those extracted out of your blood? 3.0 came out last year. It's like, oh, fuck.
It's called iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, it's like in Deus Ex when all the guys who had like the actual like prosthetic limbs and stuff, they were all outdated because nanomachines became the new thing, and they're all like clunky.
I remember that.
Ever since I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? I'd still rather be a robot man. Fuck it.
I just want the nanomachines. They're gonna save us.
I just want to be Senator Armstrong.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so mad at Iron Man. By the way, weird Marvel tension. He just got nanomachines in the last 2 movies, and he doesn't use them properly at all. There's like the scene in Endgame.
He's fucking dead, dude.
he like he digistructs new weapons out of like the rest of his armor, and he like loses bits of his armor as different nanomachines die out. That's really cool.
It looks really cool, but the thing is, they are like starving on a ship, or like they don't have like oxygen on the ship anymore. Why? He has nanomachines. He can just make oxygen from atoms that are just around the ship. It's
Can he?
Yeah, of course. That's how nanomachines.
Small?
Yeah, that's how nanomachines work.
Are they?
He
No, I don't think they're as small as an atom. NeverPaint.
They are out of multiple atoms, and they have like little arms that are like constructed of a few atoms, and that's why what nanomachines do. They construct matter out of different atoms. That's why he can make weapons out of air. He just readjusts like atoms.
I'd assume the suit worked by the nanomachines were just kind of reconstructing themselves.
He doesn't make them out of air. He makes them out of the own nanomachine's body.
Configurations.
Well, yeah, that's what they used, but they could have done cooler stuff.
Well, Endgame wasn't as good as Infinity War anyways, so...
Yeah, agree.
What?
No, I agree with them. He's right.
No.
I liked them equally, I think.
Endgame wasn't bad, but it was just like, do I need another CGI fight? The best.
Those are my favorite.
The best part about
those are why the
best portion of Infinity War was when they were just on the planet and it was like Thanos versus like 7 guys. I'm like, this is a manageable conflict between characters I care about. You know.
Yeah.
Then they cut to like every Wakandan ever. I'm just like, I don't know who any of these guys are. I don't care if they die. The camera zooms so far out, I can't see anything cool. If you're just gonna cut between the characters I care about already, like save your guys all the render time, get rid of all the CGI guys in the background, and just like have a cool slugfest between Thanos' generals and the characters I actually care about. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here for the character stakes, not for the world-ending stakes. It's all right. Depth, not breadth. Please.
But Tom, the fights in Endgame are all about those character stakes and way more interesting than the ones in Infinity War.
Are they?
No,
You
it's
still
just
have
a bunch
you
of
still have
the
these
ones in
masses
Infinity
of,
War
like,
are like really big like all-out character wars.
Well, the stakes
Whereas
are...
in Endgame, you get
There's
like much more
multiple
specific
smaller
character
conflicts
focus
of them
inside
trying
the...
to stop Thanos, because the consequences are he kills all these fucking people. And in the other one, it's like, we're gonna undo this stuff, and we already know Spider-Man's coming out later, so they're obviously gonna win. And then it's against another Thanos that we don't even care about. He's not even the same character anymore.
And he doesn't really care about them. Like, he doesn't even know his enemies. They just...
There's no like, it's just like all of the like kind of like there's like, you know, like explicit stakes, and then there's like subtextual stakes, right? You know, like the explicit stakes are like the world could end, and like the implicit stakes are just like the character motivations. And like by killing Thanos in the beginning, which was cool,
just fan service.
it's just you
fan
lose
service.
that.
It's like, whoa, guys, wouldn't it be funny if Captain America went back in time to check his own ass? Wouldn't it be funny, dude?
I don't even mind those.
I guess I just really
scenes.
liked the fight much more than anything else in both movies.
Well, I mean,
that big
if
fight
you're
at the end.
into spectacle, I totally respect that, because like I can get into spectacle sometimes too. But like my thing is like I'd rather see like 2 guys that I really care about doing crazy shit than like 2,000 guys that I don't know doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's just
The
me.
thing is, I also
That's just a theory, a
I also
game
don't-
theory.
I also don't enjoy the action in Marvel movies that much because it doesn't look that interesting. It's kind of dull.
I mean, I know a lot of people nitpick the Marvel films, and like I like them just because I've been a fan of comics characters ever since I was like a baby. So like everyone's like, "Oh, Marvel movies are so over. I don't care." Like I'm just like, "No, this is just my time. This is my turn." You know, the thing I cared about happened to be big in pop culture, so I'm riding this wave. And when everyone's done with superhero movies, they make one a year. I'm still gonna see the one a year because this is something I actually care about. So it's cool. It's fine.
So like when Blue Iron
Do we
Woman
have any
comes
other
up and she
questions?
has like the orbiting laser pods.
I
That's
didn't
cool,
plan
right?
to make
I
That's
just
the
wanted to
whole
make sure
Marvel.
the
That was my
kaiju one got
favorite
asked, and
part.
I'm glad it did.
I like that.
I'm glad too. Mechagodzilla was cool. I had little fanfics in my head all the time about a spin-off series following Mechagodzilla fighting other monsters, what G-Force does when Godzilla's not around. Oh, I wanted that so bad as a kid. I'd still
Asumi
watch it.
fighting kaijus when.
Literally, there are kaijus in the Azumi game.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, unironic.
See, I didn't know that. Now I'm really interested. Tom, you gotta show
I didn't know
us.
Azumi was Shadow of the Colossus. What?
Dude, I have this. Okay, I've talked about this before, so it's not like a spoiler, but I have this idea for a level where it's a vertical level and you're in a city and she's climbing up, like going up elevators, going from building to building, and then you get to the top and all of a sudden in the background a kaiju walks by and he's got all these big spines and you have to jump on the kaiju, and while he's walking through the city destroying it, you're like jumping from spine to spine to chase the boss, to go fight the boss on top of the kaiju's head. It'd be such a cool level, but it's so hard to make. I have no idea how to do it.
That does sound super hype, actually, though.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It'll be dope. If
Yes.
I ever make it, if I ever get smart enough and good enough.
I want to fight on Reptar.
You can do it.
Oh,
I
You're
remember
good
Reptar
and
from
good enough and
Rugrats.
smart enough. You can do it, dude.
I want to. I want to make
Just
it
fucking
happen.
do it.
Tom, just stop thinking I want to do this one big project and start throwing Asumi out into the
That's-
world to get the
that's my plan.
oxytocin from people telling you that Asumi is cool to do the big project.
Well, that's like unironically the plan. It's just like, well, if I build more clout for Azumi as a brand, like when I say, hey, I need help with something, I won't get like a small handful
Yeah.
of people. There'll be like people chomping at the bit. And I'll be like, oh, I can actually crowdsource work now effectively. And hopefully, if it's popular enough, my Patreon will be big enough, I can actually pay people to help and get good quality work done. Oh my God. This is what Red vs. Blue did, right?
Yeah.
Like it just became a thing, and then Rooster Teeth became a big thing, and then they hired professionals and they made better things. That's what I want to do.
Dude, just fucking do
Yeah.
it. Throw it out there. Just keep getting better while you do it, so you satisfy yourself too, you know. But you
Exactly.
just go.
That's the plan. I feel like with 3D, I have the ability now to like make the things that I've wanted to make. I have so many music videos in my head from the last like 20 years that I'm like, oh, I want to make that so bad.
Music
I have
videos.
like 7 Azumi music videos. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're great. They're cringy and great, and I love it, and I can't wait. Someday they will be
Yeah.
real.
Can't wait either.
Maybe this year I'll do one at some point if I can. I got to go through the animation class on CG Cookie. If I can master it, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna make a fucking fully animated fight scene to SSH's remix of Metal Squad from Thunder Force 4. Got the whole thing shot for shot planned out. Oh, it'll be great. She's gonna fight a wolf guy who is a wolf who has a fucking heavy metal guitar that controls metal. He plays metal and moves the metal around. It's gonna be fucking sick.
Ooh, that sounds really fun.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a 10 out of 10. And the guitar is also an axe because it's an axe, you know. It's
Oh,
good.
hell
It's
yeah.
wordplay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking
Adventure Time has
sick.
done that.
I'm
before.
ready. It's gonna be great.
No way.
Oh, it's gonna be good. To Metal Squad, have you ever heard SSH before?
No.
Oh,
I have no clue what you're talking
this guy's
about.
it's like from back like the early 2000s, but he did like these crazy like metal remixes of video game tracks, and Metal Squad from Thunder Force 4 is already like a ridiculously hype over the top like Sega Genesis track, and so I've just listened to this song for literally like 10 years, and it's the coolest fucking, oh god, And you know, I would just listen to a bunch of music at the gym, and this was one of the ones I'd listen to, and I just eventually figured out an entire like video I would do of like a boss fight for Azumi to this song. I'm like, I gotta do it. It'll be so cool.
Can you link the song so I can listen to it later?
Yeah, now I kind of want to listen to it.
Yeah. Nice.
It's fucking
Yeah.
sick.
Linked in the description.
Thunder Force.
Yeah.
I really like that artwork. That artwork looks really nice. The pixel art.
Yeah, the game's fucking dope.
Well shaded. Reminds me of classic like PC 98 games. That sort of metal shading.
Dude, everything Technosoft did on the Sega Genesis was so good. Like, I don't know.
I really haven't played any Genesis like besides the really popular ones. I'd be glad to dive down.
Dude, Thunder Force.
I know you love it.
The sound chip's so good. Like, even the original song this is based on is like so listenable. The top comment of this is just like, so I think my blood just turned into gasoline. I was like, yeah, that's about it. Second comment, free tip: don't drive and listen to the song at the same time.
Maybe you're just too spoiled from the Genesis audio chip to get into the Gen 3 Pokemon music.
I guess so. Someone redo Gen 3 with the Sega Genesis sound font, and I'll be on it.
That has to exist.
It probably
somewhere.
does. Someone redid the
I'm sure.
entire Mega Man X soundtrack with the Genesis sound chip. And
I've listened to that. It's so
Dude.
fucking good.
Ugh.
Spark Mandrill. Oh.
Port all SNES games to Genesis. Genesis is better.
Yes.
Genesis does what Nintendo, unironically, was not marketing, was real. I still have my original Sega from when I was like 10. You'll pry it from my cold, dead hands. I sold like all my video games as a
I
kid to
will
GameStop.
murder you.
Never sold Sega. It's like that, you know that thing from Family Guy where he's like, I'll just sell you all my fucking Star Wars action figures except Boba Fett. No matter how sure I am, I never bet the Fett man. It's the same thing with me with my Sega. It's like I'll trade in all my games except for Sega. Never. It's perfect.
You know that?
Hey Tom.
Yo.
Now that we circled back to the start. What were you
Yeah,
gonna
you
say
know that
something,
problem
Rika?
when your mouse just starts doing stuff that's not supposed to do? Like I scroll down on Twitter and it just zooms out instead. I haven't.
Normal.
Yeah, and
That's
whenever I
starts-
click,
No.
Stop
whenever
holding
I click
control.
any link, it just opens a new tab for that link. It's crazy. I live in crazy land.
That's bizarre.
That just
You're-
seems
you're-
like
you're holding
some
control.
weird settings you have.
I mean,
on
it didn't change anything.
literally
It just
touching
came out
control
of
with your
nowhere.
Listen to Noodle. Noodle.
You're
has the
literally
truth.
holding control right now. Okay.
Yes, match the control tab so it's
If you
unsticks.
hold control, it zooms.
Wait, what's
when
control?
you scroll.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
on
what
the
were you gonna say,
style.
Lemon?
Go Lemon.
Yeah, that works. Thanks.
Anyway, I was gonna. Yeah, you're welcome.
Tech talk.
So Tom,
Yo.
you know what happens at the other podcast, right? We do like a little weekly
First,
progress
sketch
section.
with us.
You listen to the other episodes.
Yeah.
Sketch with us.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, we've gotten through every question on the list, and I think we can move on
Sketch
to
with
weekly
us,
progress.
still.
If that's okay with you. Do you have anything you'd want to show? Well, sketch with us is
No.
after that, right?
No, it's usually first. But
Yeah,
What?
we've been doing that for half a year, Lemon. How
Sketchy
can you
People.
not know that? For half a year. By the way, this is an anniversary episode, Sketchy People podcast. Half a year.
Hell yeah.
6 whole
100
months.
years. Sketchy People podcast. 6 whole months. 100 years.
I can't wait for 600 more months.
Also, we have
It's really surprising and fun and great, and I'm really glad that's been so long.
glad if you sticked around, dear listener, or if you came on later. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you.
Please
either
comment
way.
if you were here since episode 1.
Please.
Ooh.
I feel like
Hardcore.
And like,
curious.
comment, and subscribe if you haven't.
The Sketchy People whales. Those are the guys you got to monetize.
The whale.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
mean, considering that episode 1 had one of the highest view counts, I assume most people from episode 1 are gone by now.
No.
But if they're still here...
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, let's do
Let's
Sketch
get
with
the
us
DLC
first.
one.
The theme for this week was purple, because we
Yes.
had Majo on
We
last
have one
episode.
entry this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
By DXBYRDX at DXBYRDX. Not a very SEO optimized username, I think. You can work on that.
Or brain optimized. I can't say that.
But they made a little drawing of their 2019 characters, so still from the last sketches,
yeah.
but it's also purple, kinda. So it also
Oh hell yeah!
It is. Oh my god, it is purple. Yeah, it's appropriate for the previous one as well.
and it's a weird cat ghost monster with laser eyes. Oh, it's
It's a
a pig. Oh,
pig.
sorry.
It's a pig, but it's also like a shirt. I can't unsee.
Yeah, like a big jacket.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it has Area 51 and Amazon rainforest fires and the black hole.
And
Black
the
Hole
black
Chan.
hole.
Yeah, I remember that.
But what about the Australian fires? They have been happening for like 5 months straight, guys. Why
But-
nobody cares about the wombats?
Even the pig doesn't care about
But the
Australia.
rainforest
Fuck
has
it.
the Amazonian rainforest has so much more media coverage and pop cultural influence.
'Cause
Pop
it's closer to
culture.
America, aka
Australia
closer
has
to
been
something that
burning for
matters.
5 months, guys. Five fucking
Hear
months.
me out. Hear me out. Australia, desert, no rain. Amazon, how is it even on fire? It's a rainforest.
yeah.
It's a
Because set it on
rainforest.
fire.
It'll take care of itself.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. Focus your efforts on Australia, people. To any firefighters listening to this podcast, you've got your word cut out for you.
Did you hear about the naked philanthropist?
No.
What?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay, so there was this girl.
Oh no! Yeah,
who
no.
wanted to do
Yeah, I
something
did.
about the forest fires, the naked philanthropist, and she sold
Oh
nudes
yeah.
for $10 a pop and raised $1 million for the wildfires. 100,000
million?
100,000 nudes, dude.
Wait.
Oh
The
yeah.
question is, did she make like Did
That's
she make
that's
like
so.
an original picture for everyone who donated?
That is
I want to think
I
she
the
did it.
question.
I want
She
to think
probably
that she took
had a
every
pack
picture.
of nudes and just sent it randomly to the people who asked, I guess.
Dude, it's just like trading cards.
Did someone DM me after I posted my I feel bad for Australia drawing the other day? And they DM me
You
being
just
like,
like, do you
dude,
sell
why
nudes?"
don't you draw pictures for free for everyone who donates and DMs you? And I'm like, I'm not even gonna reply with this. It's not like sending the nudes, dude. It's a good idea, but I'm too broke to spend my time on that.
I love people. They're the best. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. So what's next on this sketch with us cutting board? What's the next drawing we're gonna shit on and rip apart?
Nothing.
Oh.
What do you mean? I like this
Yeah, I
one.
like this one too.
Yeah, we only had one.
There's
in
nothing.
Yeah.
There's no
Come
purple.
on, guys.
Come on.
Step your
It
game
was just
up.
purple.
I mean, purple. If you're gonna choose one color, purple's a pretty good option. You know.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah,
that we
agreed.
didn't properly
I would
announce the
agree with
sketch of
you.
us on the last episode because we didn't do the thing that we said we were gonna do,
Oh, no.
which we're gonna do for this episode.
Anyways,
I
this
forgot,
week's
I'm sorry.
sketch with us. Just draw Azumi.
They
please.
already know because it
Tomorrow
was
is
on
my
the start of the
birthday.
episode.
It's gonna be out. This episode is gonna be out, and you guys will be late to my birthday presents. Just draw Azumi for me.
By the
thank
way,
you.
Seika,
Yeah.
when does it get your birthday in your country? How many hours left? I have no idea.
50 minutes.
50 minutes? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right.
I'm not gonna be ready.
Better hurry up, listener.
Me neither.
That's alright with me.
Sorry, listener, you're
okay.
already late.
Weekly
The weekly progress.
progress.
I have my shit ready.
Please
to
go.
Same.
I will prepare mine.
I drew many things this week. I want to share this Avery fan art that I drew because his fashion is such a mess that I love it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's cool. I like him.
Wait.
Such a fucking weirdo, so much energy.
Where's this guy in Sword and Shield?
Yeah, it's the DLC guy.
Oh,
He's
I
from
haven't
the
done any of the
new
DLC
expansion
yet.
pack.
God damn it.
There's,
I'm missing
it's
out.
not
That's
out
Dude,
yet.
aesthetic.
just turn on the game. If you have a shield, just go to the first train station.
Oh yeah, he is in the game already.
Yeah.
Can you draw
Wait,
him
don't they have
with the fucking Afro guy from Pokemon Coliseum? That guy was legit. Do you know who I'm talking about? The guy with an Afro
No,
who
because I
died.
didn't play Colosseum.
Oh, dude, there's this guy. He's like this weird 70s looking guy, but he has a giant afro dyed to look like a Pokeball. It's amazing.
What?
That
I'm gonna
sounds
find
amazing.
it now. Afro, Pokeball, Pokemon
I
Coliseum. This is gonna
found
be
him.
bad.
Ooh, share the picture.
See, I found it.
Yes! I got him.
Oh, you got him.
Dude, this Afro Todoroki.
Yeah, there he is. Here's his concept art.
Afro Todoroki.
I love
What a,
him.
what a legend.
Yes.
Fuck, I can't unsee it. It's just fucking Todoroki view.
Todoroki.
I'm about it.
Amazing.
Todoroki's
I
final
love this
form.
guy.
Yeah, he's a legend.
I love him.
Amazing, yeah. Yeah, I drew that guy. I'm pretty hyped for the DLC stuff. I can't believe Game Freak is finally doing DLC. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I'm about it. I'm noticing
Yeah.
with this picture you have some of the textured colors with the markers again. I noticed you did
Yeah.
last week's piece, right? You did that as well. I watched
Yeah,
a
I
bunch
have
of
been doing
episodes
that.
in a row.
She does it pretty often, yeah.
Yeah, I just got a bunch of pastel markers a couple months ago,
They're pretty great.
and I just been very into it, to be honest.
Is
It's-
the
it's
blacks?
fun.
Is that a pen? Because the texture
Yeah,
looks
it's
different.
just a ballpoint pen.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I was like, you're using a really thin marker, or is it ballpoint pen? But it looks
No, it's just a pen.
it's good shit.
Seika makes amazing art with like the cheapest, most obvious materials.
thing
Oh
is-
yeah,
It's
that's
great.
my
The
fetish.
thing is, your
The cheapest the better.
I finally found your ballpoint markers, Seika, because whenever you were in Vienna,
They are not even rare, dude. They are just big
They
markers.
re- they're
I
really
never
nice.
see them anywhere. I go to all the art stores. They don't have them.
That's the problem. You have to go to not artsy places.
Well, the thing is-
anymore.
Yeah.
The thing is, I ordered
you-
some on Amazon, and they were just not the right ones, or they're like very poor quality. They were also from Big, but like in different like branch of them, they're way too thick and kind of smudgy and didn't work well.
But NeverPaint. That's my secret. They are all terrible quality.
No, I mean they were like they way too thick for the stuff I do, and definitely not yours. But I got some in the Vienna art store I went to with Alex and Kraft doing SketchyCon.
Oh, hell
And it's only like red, blue, and black and green, but I can do stuff with them, and I did. But continue.
yeah. And speaking in the same line of ballpoint pen fun, I drew this commission for a cool guy on Twitter,
Yeah.
just of his Final Fantasy 14 character.
There's so much stuff on her.
Ah, she's so cute.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of detail. Good lord.
Yeah, they have incredibly intricate armors.
I would love to draw this.
How long did this take you to do? Because that would take me like a year. I'd just be like, oh, like 9 months of the year, I'd be like, I don't want to do this, and then the last 3 months would just be grinding it out.
Seika, 2
I mean,
hours? 2 hours?
I usually sketch. No, a little more because there was a ton of tiny details on this one. I think closer to 3, and because I was trying to make it nice because it's a commission.
3 hours.
Yeah. I don't like doing incredibly detailed shit, but I was anxious.
Dude,
And
that sword is sick. I like swords with
Yeah.
runes are awesome. Fucking Stormbringer, Elric. Yeah, that's what I think of every time I see swords like that.
yeah.
Ah, it's cool. It's like Foss, battle ready with Stormbringer.
Oh yes, that would be nice.
Dude, I love Game of Thrones.
But yeah, I'm pretty proud of how it came out, even though it was kind of hell to get everything right. I had to
pose
look
is
at all the
nice.
reference and cross-reference all the angles to try to figure out all the tiny details of everything.
Yeah. Oh god.
But
'Cause
yeah.
it's one thing just to draw the details, but to have them be all on model.
Yeah, that's the thing. I still simplified a ton of shit because I got tired at some point. But
I
yeah.
mean, I can't tell. Just as someone who didn't see the source, it looks fully realized to me.
Oh well, thanks.
It's good shit.
So yeah, that's all I want to share for this week.
Ooh. Wait, am I ready? No,
Anyway, who's
Asha's ready.
next?
Pucca.
Who's Pucca?
I drew Pucca. It's a cartoon about a girl who really likes this Cold Stone
Pucca,
ninja boy.
got you.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
She's like
It-
even
it's also like a
better
really
master.
classic character that appears in a ton of merchandise since she came out a while ago.
Pucca's sick.
Oh hell yeah! Oh, I
Just
saw
a,
this one
a
earlier.
famous cute little character.
This is super.
I like his weird hair
Oh yeah,
things.
there's a new show on Netflix, right? Or something
Is
like
there?
that.
I have
Wait,
never
it's
heard
new?
of it.
I saw some people talking about that. Either that the show is on Netflix now, or that there's a new one.
I didn't know there was a new one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
Maybe.
And okay.
Asha, I really like your line work, because it's like basically because I can't do it, you know, like my lines are super precise and like I paint over them, but like these are like have like such a loose energy to them and it still looks coherent. I'm just like, that's what I want. It's fucking good.
Sorry, it's
Yeah, I
not
feel
a
the
new
same
one.
way.
It's just got into Netflix apparently.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, Asha's art is super nice, and your line art is so good, and it's so sushi and cool. I tell you this every week, but I really like your art, Asha.
Oh,
Like
Well,
I'm just on your profile now, and like January 15th, today's sketch, and it's just like this blue square with this like character and like these. It's good. It's
just
good.
one of these every day. I want to
You're,
do that.
you're mad, lad. I don't know how it's possible, but I approve.
I'm just glad that you finally post your daily drawings on Twitter. That's a huge improvement.
Yes.
I've been telling you that for
Character
basically half a
development.
year.
Twitter's a good platform. I mean, it's got all that Tumblr traffic now, pretty much. So
Yep. That's why I showed up there.
with all the baggage that comes with it.
Yep.
Want to show something else, Asha?
No, I don't. Nothing else
Aw,
at
okay.
all.
Okay, then I go. I have my link. Where? Do I have my link? No. No, I have my link. We finished.
It's Pop.
Yeah. Asha and I finished watching Doremi season 1 last weekend, and I wanted to draw Pop and Majo Rika,
Hell yeah.
and
Pop is the best.
among the
Is
best.
this is watercolor?
It's watercolor and ink brush thing. Yeah,
It's good.
I used my
I like the choice of colors for the splotches in the background.
yeah.
Yeah, for real.
I
The blending is like really well done too. Like it's not like they're not like super blended, but there's like enough blending. Like in the corner right below her feet.
yes.
Like they overlay, but they're not like too subtle or too.
I'm still on that level
It's good.
where
It's
it's
a
kind
good
of
good application of technique.
yeah. I'm still kind of on that level where it's kind of lucky if it looks that good. You just have to try
Use
it
real
out.
brushes, NeverPaint. I keep telling you that.
What? I used
You were just saying
wait,
how
yeah,
like you
the-
use all the garbage stuff. Now you're saying you got to use the good brushes. You got to
Seika.
pick a
No,
side
Seika.
on
not,
this battle.
Not good.
No,
Tom, you don't
she means just
understand. Just
brushes that
actual
aren't
brushes.
water brushes.
He keeps using water brushes. Well, but not too long ago, you got a couple
Yeah.
normal brushes.
yeah.
Right?
That's what.
Yeah. Finally, listen to me after
By
months
the way,
and months
Seika,
of me screaming
I have
into the
hundreds
void.
of normal brushes, and I use them sometimes if it's appropriate. But most of the time, I think water brush works just well enough. Also, I can't transport my brushes easily because they will break, and they don't have like.
Just. Get
Traditional
a
is-
watercolor tin that's long enough and just put them in the middle and they won't break. That's all. That's all you
Traditional's
need
so
to
much
do.
work. I don't know how you people do
Wait,
it.
a watercolor.
Blending colors
just-
manually. Oh my god.
But
Watercolors are easy.
Yeah,
they're quick.
fun
But you
and
have to
easy
like
and
get
loose and
water.
No, that's why I have a water
Then you
brush.
have to get.
I don't
Water
know.
is already in
cool.
the
No,
brush.
fuck water brushes.
Oh
your
my
blood, it's
god.
alright.
Seika, water brushes are great for almost everything. You can do basically
Too
everything.
much work.
I don't.
There's no
they're
control
not
Z.
ideal.
How do you do it? How is it even real?
Look,
The control
Tom,
C is a
I was
napkin.
I was just like you. I was just like you before this summer, and this summer I just completely impulse bought
It's not
some
even
watercolors,
expensive.
and they're the best thing in the world. They
well,
were so
okay.
fun. It takes like 3 seconds to get used to it, and
Spend
it's
spend
great.
like
I mean,
$20
I had-
on like a small watercolor set and a water brush, and you can do so much art.
I had a bad experience with painting because I had to do painting, like oil painting, for my college.
Oh god,
And-
yeah.
And like I had no intention of ever painting, but they're like, "Here's $300 of painting supplies, mandatory, have to buy them."
Oh god.
Oh no.
So I
But
did all the
oil painting
painting.
is a
I was
different
terrible at it. It was not a good experience. All my paintings were trash, except for my last painting. The last painting was like a self-portrait you had to do, and it could be in any style. And so everybody loved my self-portrait in the class. Like it was the first time anyone gave my shit any mind. And they were like, "How'd you do this? It looks so weird." Because it was like this weird kind of like abstract, like my skin was green and all this crazy shit. Because I was just like
Oh, I'm
hurrying and
curious.
didn't give a shit. And they're like, "How'd
I'm
you
so
do it?"
curious now.
And it's like, oh, I just like ignored everything you taught me to do in this class. I didn't do an underpainting. I didn't do any of that shit. I didn't have time, so I just shit out a painting. And you're all saying that it's better than doing it the right way. So I'm glad everything I learned in this class was meaningless. Proof here. Thanks. And the teacher was just like, murder you fucking piece of shit. I'm like,
I didn't
bye.
I didn't actually wanted to argue about brushes with this. I just want to mention that I also recorded a podcast with Asha about Doremi Season 1 this week. And
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I
gonna
really want to listen
come
to
out
it.
soon. Somewhere probably on mine and on Asha's channel, YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
Content. All of the content.
all of it. We can turn our whole life into content. Speaking of content, last week I made this new OC called Nissel, and she's gonna be like a little antagonistic character to my main character Love in my webcomic thing Neverforest. And just to like, it was just a sketch that I did in a class, and I just wanted to give some character to it, give some character interaction. You know, the stuff that you post on Twitter, people see it, and they get what your character's about. What you should do, Tom.
I was like, this seems like relevant information to me all of a sudden. Yeah, I know. Maybe someday.
Tomorrow.
That day's
Someday soon.
tomorrow because I already said I have to do it. I'm on the clock.
Oh, I will ask.
Dude, I guarantee. I give you all permission to fucking ass blast me on Twitter 2 days from now if I fail.
Okay. I'll
2 days.
You heard it here
Oh yeah,
first.
he has some
listener.
time to.
I have tomorrow to do it, and the day after, if it's not there, 2 days from now, you can proceed to fucking destroy me.
Okay.
I-
I'm playing by the
Michelle's
rules.
so
I'm playing by
cute.
the rules.
I'm stupidly
Okay. It's the deal.
I'm stupidly proud of this drawing because it made it in so short of time, like an hour or 1.5.
Oh, that's very
And-
impressive for
and-
just an
That
hour.
is a lot of detail.
Yeah, and I used
Nice.
the ballpoint pens, and it looks very bright.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very bright and shiny.
Ballpoint pens are great. People
I sketched in
underestimate
ballpoint
them. I
all
love
the
them.
time because you have
There's
to,
a
you're in
huge
school,
difference
but,
in
like,
quality. They're like ones that don't work that well.
Yeah, some
Well,
of them
yeah,
are
but
garbage, but like
everything.
the ones that are like broken in properly, for lack of a better term, like there's a really like
I know what you mean. Yeah.
there's a feedback to them that's really interesting once you get your head wrapped around it. That's pretty fun to use. You can actually get some decent value out of a ballpoint pen, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
I like the hair, like how there's a bunch of like loose strands and stuff. It makes it feel a lot more, I guess, natural maybe almost. It gives it some extra sense of motion that I'm digging.
Things I focused on that because like she's toying with her hair, so it has to look
Yeah,
like hair.
it adds like motion because it feels like because there's these little strands moving around that there's like more going on than just like they're
Basically
posing
standing,
or something
yeah.
like that. It's cool.
Thanks.
I love her expression so much. It's just so cheeky, and she's like bullying Love, and
Yeah.
I'm enjoying your improvement
Nissel
in
has a really good
expressions.
look.
I'm
Yeah, Nissel is really growing on me.
I'm gonna make an
Yeah.
expression sheet for Nissel, and I'm gonna maybe do.
Ooh, I might have to also
Sick.
wipe your OC and everything. It's finally happening.
Yeah,
Add it to the
I
harem.
got it. And also, I mean, I think I said last week what my plan was to like fetch out some kind of character design for every month of this year, and have like ideas what a character is, what a place is in a story, and drawings and concept art, and making people know her. Yeah, that's my plan for Nissel this month.
That's a good one.
Good plan.
Someone else. No, wait, I also wrote a script for a YouTube video that's gonna come out soon.
Oh, God, I
That's
still haven't read
alright.
that.
Do it till tomorrow because I wanna voice it.
I have been out all day. Okay.
Once I figure out how to edit a thing,
We'll do it.
that's gonna come out.
Uh,
Please.
okay, so I think that's me
Yeah.
left?
Me.
Question mark? Oh, no, Lemon's
Oh,
after
I
me.
haven't done it
Go, go,
either.
go, go, go.
Okay. I guess I did a couple sketches because that's all I can do right now.
Well,
here's
Oh, I love this
they're
one.
very busy.
Wait, did we talk about this
yes,
one?
we talked about this one earlier. I still love
Yeah.
her panties and her see-through dress.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been. So if you've been following my Twitter, some life stuff came up, and I've not been able to make fun art lately. So during my lunch breaks, I've just been sketching as much as possible. Just because drawing has become my comfort zone again. It's something that's nice to calm me
Hell
down.
yeah.
And
Okay,
stuff.
but you made this in over multiple days, right? Yeah.
This
Or
one?
Is it one lunch?
I started this one like
No, it's the sketch, right?
yeah, it's still a sketch. I did. I drew the face one day, and then I did.
I
The
was
rest
just
another day.
thinking when I think back to your lunch sketches from like a few months ago, it's way more impressive and way more detail and things. Way more.
Thanks.
Was this
The,
all
the
just?
flowers specifically are like surprisingly very well rendered for such a quick sketch.
I was gonna say, were those just like freehand, or were you using references for them? Because those are,
A few of so I've been looking at flowers lately because of stuff, and I looked at a few flowers and I used a lot of them as reference, and they're pretty fun to draw. It turns out. Some of them are reference, some of them I try to create in my head, and the ones I try to create in my head look like abstract doodles. They were supposed to be flowers.
I need to draw more flowers. I
I
miss
see.
it. I used to have to do it a
Yeah.
lot for tattoo stuff. I have to.
The ones on the
more.
two on the top I just came up with in my head because I was like, okay, flowers like fold right.
There's
Are they like do
they,
like
they
a thing?
definitely they're stylized like you would stylize them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
In pencil.
they look really good.
And I did one other thing that I'm pretty
Oh,
happy
but
with.
I like the lace, the frilliness of
Oh, yeah,
her
the
color. Wonderful.
Yeah, I would
Oh,
like to
thank
see
you.
more frilly outfits on your characters. That would be cool.
Oh, quick thing though, I was drawing this in front of so I've always been like, I don't want to show my art to my family. Stuff happened. I don't give a fuck anymore. I draw in front of my family all the time. They're like,
Oh,
"Why do you
hell
draw
yeah.
those?" I just don't care. Okay. So my brother saw this and he's like, "Didn't you draw something like this back on your old DeviantArt?" And he was correct. It was an old RP thing for Pokemon of all things. Like, I wasn't into the RP. A friend of mine was into RP apparently. I didn't even know what RP was when I was in middle school. But I drew a character very similarly dressed to this Pom Pom. But I can say this Pom Pom looks better.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
RP was
and
my
my
life in middle school, dude.
I wish I could spell. Then I would have RP'd. Let's see. And I have one more thing. Let's hit the enter button, please. Of my other.
Oh
posts
yeah, I saw this.
That I think I posted this today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
good
Oh,
stuff.
she has all the noodle
I've both. Yeah, she has all the nib. But
All the nibs for her drawing pens.
yeah, I was wanting to jump into 2020 and just do a lot of digital stuff, and I just wanted to do stuff, but stuff happened. So sketching has been my comfort zone. My lunch has been my haven, and I've just been doing this stuff.
Well,
yeah.
these are really good. I really like them.
We finally know what the underside of her bangs look like, and the answer is darkness.
Emptiness. Yes.
It's just a helmet. It's a way too big helmet.
It's just a helmet.
Just a Playmobil.
I really want to draw bald Lilith now.
No.
It's
It's
just a
just
gumball.
Caillou.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just a weave.
Oh, bald Lilith would be such a cool little character this time with like the big cheeks. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is my OC Lilith, by the way. Okay.
Miss
Tardy.
Mr. LemonTart.
Yeah, it's my turn.
Or wait,
Okay, so my week has been a ton of classwork. And what I've been doing most is motion graphics for my advertising design class, as well as developing assets for the PCP dating sim, which I've been working as the UI designer on. And I put together a little teaser trailer, with some of the design work that I was doing for it as part of a project that I turned in for class. And here it is. I think you've all seen it.
Yee.
Yes.
Ah, yes. The legend.
Yeah.
The myth.
whoa, some of us did the art for these.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
You're credited in the description.
Yes, I am. That's
I
how I knew
forgot.
about it.
I forgot to respond to a comment in here. Someone commented and said Tom has yaoi hands, and I wanted to respond just like
Yeah, I
in
saw that
real
one.
life.
Aww.
Hey.
But I
Hey,
forgot.
I just want to take full credit because I was the guy who did that.
I
yeah.
appreciate and approve.
Big yaoi hand high five.
Hell yeah.
Also,
hold on.
Funny little story. I showed the trailer to my mom because she was all like, "Here,
Yeah.
that's the game I've been working on for like a year," and she was like, and what did you do? Nothing in this trailer.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Didn't put any backgrounds in there.
Or there's also no writing or like general directing stuff in it. So I mean,
sorry.
of course, that's the most selling stuff about the game. Cool characters. But yeah, it's a cool trailer. It looks real.
I would have put the backgrounds in, but I was having like limited time, and I already spent way too long on it, so I just cut the video short and put in only the characters in.
That's fine. I forgive you.
But hey, they'll see them in the game and they'll enjoy them.
Less than a month
but
away.
yeah,
now,
I had
right?
less than a month.
Jesus
We're
Christ.
wrapping up acid production
Gonna be
and
real.
putting it all together.
I mean, assets are ready, as far as I know.
Well, yeah,
And yeah, just
wrapping up.
Yeah, buy yourself a
Hype.
box of chocolates and get ready for Valentine's, people.
I'll be dating myself on Valentine's Day.
Hell yeah.
I feel like everybody's gonna do their own route first.
I gotta
course.
know.
Yeah. I also did, as part of the project, I showed them a bunch of my other assets that I was making for the game, and I also did a cool little paper for it.
Oh,
It's a little
God.
screenshot of what the design of the paper looks.
Ooh, Spanish.
And I'm pretty proud of how the design turned out. I love doing paper layout, and I'm
it's
happy
me.
with it.
Dying art,
Sweet.
unfortunately.
Well, it is, but it also really it transfers over to stuff like web design very easily, and I want to do UI design anyway.
I mean, I'm so boomer core, but
yeah.
I still like reading like an actual magazine. I know it like dates me horribly, but
Lots of people like the physicality of magazines and books. That's why they're not entirely dead.
it's kind of nice. I mean, I grew up reading like Electronic Gaming Monthly and Game Pro and Nintendo Power. I'm just like, yeah. That's when like I first really got into comics. 'Cause in the back of EGM there was a comic called Sue and Chan by Norman Scott, and those are like some of the first like comic strips I ever read.
Huh.
Just these two guys making knockoff games of like whatever was popular at the time, and it was funny as hell. The guy still does work to this day. He's on Twitter at Spookingtons. He's fucking sick.
Spookingtons.
Yeah, his art's great. I love his work, and I'm surprised he's like not popular because the work he does is really good, and I don't understand why he doesn't exist. It makes me sad.
Bad marketing, maybe?
Maybe.
Anyways, Lemon, that thing is super cool.
I wanted. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it. Sorry, I thought you were gonna wrap up the episode, and I wanted to post one more thing.
Oh yeah, please post one more thing.
But
and then
thanks,
we're gonna wrap up.
NeverPaint. Wait, am I?
I
did
don't.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh.
He just let. I want to
Oh, no, he
post one
died.
more thing. Goodbye.
Anyways, I just...
One more thing. This mic drop, bitch. Gone.
Anyways,
Destroys
this was
PC.
this week's
Lemon.
episode of the Sketchy People podcast. Oh, there he is again.
Hello.
Bringing it
I'm
back.
Hi.
Please
it back.
post your thing.
I swear we didn't believe
Yeah,
you.
wanted to post one last thing. So, I wanted to post this because of the 3D modeling that Tom has been talking about. Because I recently just finished a big 3D modeling project of my own. I had to do a stand for a fair. It was a tourism fair, and we had to come up with a stand promoting a specific city or country. And I did one for London. So I'm just gonna. You don't have to put all of these in the video graph, but I'm gonna dump a bunch of renders that I did of the different parts of the building.
Ooh.
It's an eye.
Sick.
It's like a contact lens.
Was this in like AutoCAD or?
This is in Rhino, which is an AutoCAD spin-off.
I know Rhino.
But it works very similar. Well, let me
This
find
is really
some-
cool, but it really bothers me how the ceiling is not symmetrical in any way, and it's
like
probably
that
on purpose. Yeah, but it's
Yes.
just it triggers me so
Oh,
much.
it's a beautiful gem.
That's fucking cool.
Let me find some
How
inside
the shaders are
views.
set up, how like the specular light's coming in, like diffusing onto the ground and stuff.
Yeah, it's very pleasing.
And it has wheelchair access. Nice.
It does.
And
I thought about that.
In the other direction, you can like push them down the slide. It's gonna be fun.
Just push them off the.
Yeah, I think that's the purpose, right?
I would like to go there. 10 out of 10.
This would make
It
Thank
looks
you.
this would be
I
it
a
looks a
would
little
like
bit
to
like it
throw
would
a
be
rock
really
at it.
hot in the summer, with all the glass. It's like a glass house.
I mean, but it's not a problem if you live in Sweden, I guess.
I guess yeah.
It's not an outdoor
Oh,
thing. It's an
okay.
indoors stand, so it should be fine.
I see.
It's pretty cool.
pretty sick.
The idea was to create a little space where people can see from afar other people that are having fun and enjoying themselves, and then you go there, you get some information about London, and then you go up and whoa, there's a little sitting table with flowers, and there's a guy serving you afternoon tea and scones, which is very easy to make,
Thought you were gonna say
and you
very
can just
England.
serve that all day for free to people to hang out. And then you see people hanging out up there, and you want to be part of it, so you go there as well. And because it's on a top floor and it's really tall, that can be seen from all over the fair, so it's going to attract people to the stand.
It's pretty sick. How about it? When are they making it real?
They're not.
Oh, what the fuck! You got me hyped up for
This is-
nothing.
Sorry, this is a university project. It's not
I
actually
mean, you
something
could
that's going
sell
to
it
be
What do
built.
you- what do you
to like a game
mean?
developer to put it in
Let me
their
just
game.
put it-
Yeah, I like.
Just put it in a 3D printer, Lemon. It'll take like 2 days.
Yeah, that's how it works. I mean, no,
A glass 3D
honestly,
printer.
Noodle, I could 3D print this if I made it a little bit simpler, but I mean,
A
it
mock-up
could be
would
done.
be cool. But I want a real one that I can walk in, Lemon. I need get like 2 3D printers.
I mean, that's the best praise you could give me.
Just need the biggest 3D printer possible. Just like really big.
Or nano
And
robots.
I'm glad you like this. I worked on it for a long time.
It's sick, but also we've been going for hours.
So
and
yeah,
hours.
this is my skill set, Tom Oliver. Motion graphics, graphic design, 3D modeling, and sometimes I draw.
Hell yeah.
But sometimes. Anyway, yeah, you're right, NeverPaint. This podcast has been going on for way too long. We should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Any last words, everybody?
Subscribe. Bye.
Thanks for coming on, Tom.
Patreon.com/polystation2. Give me your money.
Hell yeah.
Listen to
Yeah.
podcasts, fun to Azumi content. It's a good time.
Yee.
Please.
Thanks so much for coming on,
Yeah, no
Tom.
problem.
It was really fun to talk
Yeah,
to
it was
you.
great.
Yeah.
I admire you a lot, and I mean that's all. I'm just
Yeah,
glad you're on the
please.
show.
I'll try not to
Yeah,
let you
same.
down in 2020. I'll make more content, I promise.
I'll be watching,
Please
Tom.
do.
Don't disappoint me.
Okay.
Oh, and guys, don't forget we have our own Discord now.
Oh, yeah.
Please come into it if you want. It's a comfy little place for artists to hang out. There's voice calls very often, and we do group drawings like comic jams and draw piles pretty often there as well.
Yeah, just come to the
be
Sketchy
part of the
People
Sketchy
Plaza.
People Plaza.
There's a link in the Twitter. It's the pinned tweet. Just come and have fun and hang out with us.
And it'll also be in the description of the video
Yeah.
if you want to be there.
Do it.
Do
Do it. And
I haven't been there, but I've heard
do
great
it.
things. Right now.
Oh.
Because it's the
Tom
first time I've
Oliver
heard
They have a-
approved.
They have a cherry pie that'll kill you.
Oh, I'm
you
ready.
too can go there, Tom. It's open for everyone, even homeless people.
I'm ready.
Wink.
Even hobos that live in their
Even
vans.
degenerate PCP members are welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple already there. You don't want to be like left
You wanna
out.
be left
right?
out.
Left out, yeah.
That's true. That's true. I am a follower.
Hell yeah. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for
Goodbye.
listening.